at his baby face. Look at that.
Oh, shit. I wasn't ready. Whoa! Oh, I gotta do it right. Fuck! I'm off. I'm not ready.
I've been muted the whole time, so we're gonna restart that intro. Yay! Oh! Yay for being live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Dissect That Film Podcast, where we dissect the good, the bad, and the uglies of cinema. I am your host, Brett Parker. Joining me, as always, my wonderful co-hosts, Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey! People can hear me, and people can hear you.
Yay.
Joy. Happy days. Oh God, everybody. What's going on, Dustin? The beard, I know the beard is gone. I'm so sorry, but it had to go. It had to.
You scared Dan off.
I know. He's like, what is that? After a while, it just gets out of control because sometimes I just get lazy with it. And so you got to shave it down and you got to start from scratch. And it's starting to get warmer out. And I can't have it when it's super warm out. We're going to make a drink before we get this party started. Welcome, everybody. 100 episodes of the Dissect That Film podcast. We have done way more than 100 episodes of Dissect That Film. But when it comes to the podcast, where it all started, this is episode 100. So we're going to pour ourselves a nice big old glass of Jameson.
Face planting.
We're gonna add some ginger ale to that Jameson because I can't drink this shit straight.
Oh, yeah.
Canadian dry.
I can't drink ginger ale by itself either.
Oh, I can drink ginger ale by itself any day, but this is the best thing. This is the best thing. Oh man, so why did I decide that this was going to be episode 100? Well, because all of our other live episodes I never counted as episodes. They were just our live shows. But this is an episode we're going to be actually doing something specific. We're going to be going back in time, all the way back to April of 2021, so almost 2 years ago. And we're going to be watching and reacting to episode 1 of the podcast where we talked about Godzilla, and we're going to be critiquing ourselves, laughing at ourselves, drinking, and just having a good time. You guys will be getting to see it live. We're going to be doing it through Discord and doing it through Discord window share. So this is going to be interesting. Hopefully you guys will be able to, there'll be no hiccups. If you want to follow along with us without watching it on here, just pop up another window and just pull up the podcast.
Yeah.
But
how's it going, by the way?
Mixing with his finger.
Hell yeah. Yeah, ginger ale. I love ginger ale. Canada Dry is usually the what I go with mostly.
I don't know. I can't hear
There we go.
Never mind, ignore me.
But Dustin, thank you so much for being here. Oh my God, it's Doom Generation Podcast. Hello, thank you so much. Future guests of the show. We got something juicy planned. I don't know exactly when. But we're going to be bringing Doom Generation on very, very soon, hopefully. And Dustin, you know you're coming back. But 100 episodes. I can't believe it. This is the longest project I have ever been a part of. Outside of just a job. And yeah, it all started when me and my little brother decided to sit down and talk about movies as we always did, and then one day just said, hey, let's record ourselves doing it. And so we did. So for 18 episodes, we were the Parker Chronicles, which was the first name we went by, which we pretty much didn't change the concept of the show for those first 18 episodes. We had Dan and Angela on quite a bit through that first stretch as guests. And then when my brother had to take time away from the show and kind of step away, I asked Dan and Angela to be the co-hosts. And instead of going back to square one and starting with episode 1 when they came on the show and we changed our name because it just made more sense, we just decided to just keep going with it. And we've been going with it ever since. And it's been an absolute blast hanging out with Dan and Angela every week and bringing on some amazing guests every week. It's a lot of fun. Ebony, Billy, thank you for being here. Ebony, thank you for pointing out that I literally didn't put a time in my video that I posted on Twitter about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. I was like, where's the tweet?
It took me 20 times to record that video because words are hard. I literally would say a word and then I freeze and then I just keep on going. But thank you, everybody. I appreciate it so much. We've met so many amazing people on this journey, and we're not slowing down anytime soon. We already got episodes coming up after this, and we've already got episodes recorded for the coming weeks, and then we got more fun stuff. We got more amazing guests that could bring on the show, returning guests. It's going to be a great time. But today, specifically, we are going to be looking back at episode 1 of the Dissect That Film Podcast, formerly known as the Parker Chronicles. We're going to be talking about Godzilla 2014, and boy, oh boy, it's going to be fun to see how we've changed. Have we changed? That's going to be the question.
We had to.
Gosh,
if we haven't, I'm leaving. Because it's just downhill from here.
Oh, yeah. So, and also, I just want to point out the fact that episode 1, I think, is our shortest episode of the podcast. I could be wrong, but it's only an hour and 5 minutes. What? I don't know why we can't do that anymore, but it's because we just can't shut the fuck up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, some of you can. I can't.
It's us, Parker.
Oh, dude, it's whatever. I'm having a great time. All right, I'm gonna turn off this music. Sorry, everybody. Usually we do music on the live shows, but I'm just gonna turn it off. Because we're going to be watching the video. This is live, so it's going to be a mess. I'm going to try to edit it the best I can for anyone who doesn't listen to it or watch it live. Fiore, what's up? What's going on? All right. Well, let's pop up the share screen. Hopefully the stream doesn't crash. That should be fun.
Stream. Boom.
Oh my God. It didn't crash, everybody.
Nice.
We're still here, but we're going to make this a little bit bigger.
Wait, is that a statement, Fiore, or are you telling us to do that?
Oh.
Also, smoke weed? I can't, but I will drink. I will drink. Fortunately, I can't. My job, it's sketchy with my job.
There's a lot of people that do here, even though it's not legal in my state, but it's not anything I'm interested in. But I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Just looking out for us.
So, if everybody is ready, let's do this.
All right, let me get my pants down. Hang on.
All right. If it's too loud, let us know. We're going to be going full screen. That's only a statement. I have gummies. I've had gummies for like the longest time. And I can't. I'm paranoid to take them.
All I've heard is if you do any kind of edible, you're gonna eat it. It's gonna hit you like 45 minutes to an hour later, and just fuck you up one time.
It'll be the worst. That'd be like the worst timing ever, too. All right, everybody, let's start this puppy up. We're gonna be doing a live commentary of episode 1.
I think it's just gonna be us shitting all over this.
Here we go.
On this video.
With our awesome intro that I threw together.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of the Parker Chronicles podcast.
Where'd the cans go?
It's a podcast that I've been talking about for a very long time. Me and my brother have been talking about it for a very long time, so it's very exciting to finally get it going. Even though it's going to be a little rough. These first few episodes are I'm very excited. Recently, Godzilla vs. Kong came out, and so
why does it do that?
I want to start it now because I want to talk about all 4 of these movies in the MonsterVerse. And
every time I click on something,
there's no better people to have on this podcast to talk about Godzilla than DNA Gaming. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
And back echo.
And I am your host.
I don't know I don't know how to fix that.
Big boy echo.
I don't know how to fix that. Boy. Off to a great start, everybody.
GG, we know what we're doing here.
What am I?
I don't know. I guess I've never.
Oh, do you have you need to? I think you need to mute the volume on it playing on the website or somewhere because it's playing from the website and on here. So I think it's.
I have to mute it on YouTube, or do I have to mute? Oh, maybe I mute it on. Can I mute it here? I don't know what the hell I'm doing, guys. I don't think I can mute it. So if I mute it here, it's going to mute it everywhere. Fuck. This is why you should figure it out beforehand. Well, sounds like you're at a football game.
If you go to YouTube,
you should be able to mute.
You can right-click the tab you're on and you click mute site, but I don't know how that'll affect the playback of what we're watching.
Well, let's try it.
Okay.
So I'm going to mute the tab. All right, let's start from the beginning, guys. All right, let's do this. Let's try this again.
Plan.
Nope. It mutes the tab, but it fucking...
Okay.
Fuck!
Okay.
It's a podcast that I've...
Oh, you unmuted it. Never mind.
Yeah.
Go to your mixer. Your mixer on your computer, your sound mixer.
Yeah.
You should have a separate one for...
All right, let me try something.
Just trying to think. Football or hockey game. Or is that, wait, NFL? It could be NHL. What's next to, or, no, he means NFL. Damn. Okay. Or she means NFL.
It is at a separate window. That's the thing. It's at a separate window. Why? There should be no echo. There should be literally no echo.
Yeah, because we got headphones.
Talking about for
play.
A long time, me and my brother have been talking about it for a very long time, so it's very exciting to finally...
Oh boy, this is gonna suck ass to fucking edit.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome, dude.
This sucks.
Just drop it.
This sucks really bad right now, to be honest.
It's gonna be great.
I'm trying to think of
this sucks balls. All right, I'm gonna try something different here.
Get it going, even though it's gonna
how's that, everybody?
In these first few episodes, but I'm very excited. Recently, Godzilla vs. Kong came out, and so I figured I want to start it now because I want to talk about all 4 of these movies in the MonsterVerse, and there's no better people to have on this podcast to talk about Godzilla than DNA Gaming.
All right, let's start from the beginning, guys. Let's start from the beginning.
One more time.
Yeah.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah.
So we're just getting you guys
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the first episode.
Things are gonna be better.
Podcast. It's a podcast that I've been talking about for a very long time. Me and my brother have been talking about it for a very long time, so it's very exciting to finally.
I know, right? When I was,
even though it's going to be a little rough.
affiliated with Raise Energy. Get your Raise Energy. I still have a code for that too. You can get Raise Energy for 20% off.
And so I figured.
I don't know.
I want to start it now because I want to talk about all 4 of these movies in the.
I was still streaming when we did this.
There's no better people to have on this podcast
to
talk about Godzilla.
Yeah.
Than DNA Gaming. Thank you for being here.
Can't quit.
Sorry, guys. There was two tabs open.
And I am your host. I probably should have did that first. See, I told you it's going to be rough. I am your host, the Parker XP. This is my co-host, or the other host.
The Parker XP.
Nemesis Angel,
wow.
AKA
what a loser.
We should have wore the same shirts.
The younger Parker.
We should have watched this video and wore the same fucking shirts.
Yeah, we are talking about, if you can't tell by the overlay, it's beautiful, isn't it? Did you guys see it? You guys see the beautiful overlay that I made?
Yeah, you guys see that beautiful overlay? It's just a
I
picture with another picture
together in about 5 minutes.
Listen, dude, this was effort. It was 5 minutes.
But I hope you enjoy what Twitch is seeing
You're
right now.
telling me to shush?
I'm sure it's cool.
This is the whole point of this. We're commentating.
It's fantastic. For
I think
something
it's
that was thrown
sheesh.
together in 5
Maybe it
minutes.
is.
Is it
Shut
sheesh?
up,
Oh,
listen to
sheesh.
the
I said
podcast.
shush.
I was able to.
Sheesh.
I was able to figure out.
Can you guys
the
hear the
cam
video? All right.
Situation for Discord, thanks to BLT in our group Discord.
I kind of wish Godzilla's mouth was above me, so it's like him killing Muto.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, I pretty much
wish
just
you-
took that.
When I
poster
couldn't.
that I
Also,
used
this
the
was back
smaller
when I
picture, and
couldn't
just blew it up, and then I just use it again.
square
you know?
off people's
Creative,
cams.
Creative.
So like
Right?
literally, you could
Yo,
see
thanks for the
half of
18-month
mine
resub. So we're not
and-
doing alerts because we're going to
and
be
yours.
putting this on YouTube and probably going to try to put it on some
good old
podcast
days.
services. So alerts are going to be turned off.
Yeah, guys. When we
but I
first
will, of
started
course,
this, the first like
acknowledge any
3 or 4
subs,
episodes, we just streamed on
follows, all
Twitch.
that.
I didn't. I don't even think I recorded
kind
them.
Have it cut.
I just
kinda
pulled up
cut that out when
the.
we put it on other services. But thanks
I
for
would just pull
18-month
up the
resub.
VODs.
Appreciate that.
That's
So
how I got this.
today, or tonight, we are talking about Godzilla 2014. This is how unprepared I am. I probably should have pulled up the wiki because I
Now,
was like,
see,
oh,
we
I should
haven't
do it,
changed
you
because
know,
I'm still
talk about, like, the
unprepared
release
going
date
into
and all that
episodes where I
fun
have to
stuff.
pull up Wikipedia or
and I don't even
IMDb
have
to
it pulled
get
up,
facts.
so,
Every
yeah.
time.
Every time.
Yeah, I got this. I'm good, man. But whatever. Released on May 16th,
God, we're already up to
2014. Can you believe it's
shit.
been 7 years since this movie came out?
I think it's gotten better though.
Unreal.
This was
is
also an
only the
episode where you
second,
two and my brother were super
Godzilla
quiet
movie. It was
because
the
I
second
didn't
Godzilla
adjust
movie
audio
made
at
by
all.
an American studio, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. You guys can throw all that out because 1998 was
Look,
the
we still
first
have the
one,
mic in
correct?
front of me.
You just hear me.
Right. Yes. What's going on, buddy?
That's what
Um.
I was referencing.
So
It
yeah.
was the,
Directed
Godzilla film in the
by
early 80s
Gareth
that was
Edwards.
making.
Most notably directing also what was it Rogue One, a Star Wars story. And what was the other? What was he most famous for? It was the movie he had done, Monsters.
Yep.
Never seen that, so that's definitely something I got to put on my list. But so
Every time I touch
I'm gonna go
something
around.
else.
I want
Mark, just don't touch me.
you know
just let
we'll
it go.
start off with our guest's opinion. What
Put the
did you
dick
guys
down,
think
Mark.
of this movie?
I
when you
can't
first
though.
saw
I
it?
have to.
Yeah, you go first.
No,
This is stupid.
Oh,
you're the
I love it. I love it.
What's going on, Ronan?
Like a total like. This is
Thank you,
actually
Ronan.
what I think of the film.
Did not touch.
It was a
he
much
can't.
better
He's like
start
me.
as far as an American film goes to represent
This is going
Godzilla.
exactly how I planned
Okay.
it.
I think the tone
Like
was
shit.
well. I just
I love. I mean, we
I
sound
thought it was
better
pretty good.
now than we
Yeah,
did
like
then.
Godzilla.
Like
Godzilla
way
doesn't
more
feel like
confidence.
Godzilla.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes any sense to.
No. I feel you. 100%.
Baby
Well,
days,
before
dude.
I want everybody's opinions, then I'll spew
We still
my
look the same.
thoughts.
I have the same hair color,
have
just a
an
different
opinion.
hairstyle.
I have an opinion. It
It's
doesn't
more-
take
no,
much
it's
to
blue.
please me.
It's
when
not
it
your
comes to
propel.
Oh,
kaiju
Not
movies.
the propel.
Whatever.
Right?
What?
I'm agreeing. with
Right?
you
Can
there.
we
I'm
just
like,
So
can we just address the people who just are too like they just expect way too much from these movies when it's just
Yes.
when it's just got big giant like dinosaurs like or giant lizards.
I love
like,
calling out
come on,
fandoms.
man.
I love calling out
People
people.
just get crazy, but no. Sorry, I don't want to. I don't want to.
We did it last week. We did it last week
Okay.
for Alien Covenant.
That's why you're here. That's why
Call
you're
out the
here.
Godzilla fandom. How dare you?
Keep going, keep
How
going.
dare you complain about a giant
Sorry.
lizard?
I thought it was good.
Bunch of
Um,
uppy assholes, is what
I
they
think
are. I'm
there's
part of it. I
Godzilla,
can say
but-
it. If I wasn't, I'd still do it.
Right. I completely agree.
my
All
2
right.
seconds and on what I
Brother?
thought of the.
It was all right.
I'm gonna tell
It
you
was
my
a movie.
favorite part was bringing back the old Godzilla look. I like the big
Favorite
Oh,
Godzilla movie?
and
All right, all right.
Interesting.
I can't hate on it. I think.
It
I
was
mean,
just
I still
more
think it's a fun movie. I do want to do a commentary track on Godzilla 2014, where we all sit down and watch Godzilla 2014 together.
That was
And,
where I was
uh,
gonna get to before
Do
we
a
went
commentary
live.
track on that because that would be a lot of fun.
Okay.
King of the Monsters was a lot of fun. If you wanted, I mean, that's our third episode. That was a 3-hour long episode.
Yeah.
One of the few that we've done. Actually, our episode next week,
All right.
will be pushing it.
I like this movie. Like I said,
gonna be
before
that
we went
guy.
live, I
You
was
ready?
going to say something, but I wanted to wait
First
till we were
off,
live.
Of the,
So,
of the
we grew
Monsterverse
up
movies,
like we grew up knowing of
Godzilla, I
Godzilla,
think
like
Godzilla
the
was my
Japanese version of Godzilla,
Not
and
judging
you know
anyone
the original
Billy,
1954 film and all
is
that.
it
But yeah, we grew up
the 60s?
on the bad
Mothra versus
Godzilla, which
or
is the
the
1998 Matthew Broderick film.
Your mic is like super cutting out.
You know,
I can't
being
hear. I
nine-
can
you know,
barely
being
hear you
90s,
guys.
being 90s
Like, you
kids
guys
and
are
not being
close enough
like,
to the mic.
I'm
you know,
half
not showing us
leaning
those,
away.
you know, the
Sorry.
original Godzilla films.
Billy, is it
Yeah,
the
that's that. Unfortunately, that's what we grew up with.
60s
But
Mothra versus
knowing
Godzilla,
the
or is it
reference,
the
and
90s
I have
Godzilla
seen the
versus
1954 film, and for a movie that
I
is
know
as old as it
there's a
is,
slight
it is
difference
still
between what I
fantastic in my opinion. But yeah, the look of Godzilla being like, you know, taking what they you know, all throughout the
Look at
years
me,
of what
talking
Godzilla
too
looks like
much.
and just putting it into something that could
That hasn't
you know,
changed.
This is just what you
when
do.
say
I know. It's like that
reality,
hasn't changed. I'm trying
you
to
know, you
pick
gotta
out
put in
things that maybe have
quotations because
changed
it's
about
like,
me, and
bro,
it's nothing.
if you know something like
I still
that
don't shut the fuck
is
up.
coming
They
through
said
anywhere,
all they can hear is
I'm
the-
long gone. All right.
Yeah,
And
we
it's-
have it over
that's-
that.
But that's what you're imagining, right?
I can turn
That's
it. I can turn it
If
down.
anything, if anything, 1/3 that size, I'm still running.
There we go.
Right.
Because we can bump it up on our end
Yeah.
if we have.
Yeah.
Size, I mean, I'm scared of.
Yeah, bump your
Right,
bump you
right.
guys up a little bit
But
if you can.
I enjoyed this film.
Can you guys turn
lot.
yourselves up a little bit?
The problem, like,
Yeah.
I'll agree with you,
There we go.
all right, is that it doesn't have.
Sorry,
it doesn't have
guys.
enough Godzilla. But the problem is,
I came into
Are you
this
laughing
super
at the
prepared.
in the fridge right now?
Oh, interesting, Fiore. Very interesting. I know that was just in theaters not long ago too,
Oh,
along
my
with Tokyo
God.
SOS.
Thank you for the
Oh,
link, Caroline.
Billy, I
Good
was
to see
asking you, was it the 60s Godzilla versus or Mothra versus
Oh my
Godzilla,
God.
or the
That's
90s
so good.
Godzilla versus Mothra?
But I agree. Not enough Godzilla. The problem with
Not
these-
enough Godzilla. I still
these
stay to that
films
fact.
and with a lot of like
She doesn't like
films
nothing.
that have to do like for you know an example.
She likes
for me is,
Godzilla
like,
versus King Ghidorah,
Transformers.
with a space time travel one from
Too
'91.
much human stuff. There's too much
Space.
like we're focusing too much on humans, and you don't make the humans interesting. Okay, you don't make them interesting.
He's always
at all.
interesting.
You make them boring.
I know.
And I'm gonna go.
Sorry, I had to
into
go. I had to go
a
back and get my
rant
copy of
about the
Godzilla
main-
2014.
Main character of this
There you
film.
go. We could
because
shit on the main character.
He's not good.
Yes.
Bryan
That
Cranston.
is
No.
literally
Well, I could shit on him for not being in the movie enough.
Rant, but
There you go. Why the fuck did you die?
Oh, no way. Matthew
There we
Broderick
go.
for the win.
Um,
But
my favorite. I've said this before, hundreds of times probably on here. Maybe not hundreds. It's been mentioned multiple times.
Too much.
But Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, my favorite movie of all time.
You know the
Hoping we get
kaijus,
to
you know these. It just more
when the
things that are
Patreon gets really going, we can maybe
interesting,
do an
Instead
episode
of,
on it.
I don't
Maybe.
care about this character going home from
Yeah.
fighting.
Speaking of the
and
Patreon,
reconnecting with his family.
Yeah,
and
$1,
then
guys.
they're just
$1. We only have one tier right now. $1. You get episodes early. So
Why
this
do I
episode
care?
though will be a little bit different because this will be this week's episode, and there's no way I'm getting this edited by tomorrow. So,
this
but
movie
you'll get everything after that
starts off-
early, and yeah. So for $1, just go to patreon.com/dissect that film.
Outside of the title sequence, they're building
Another beats the OG Godzilla 1954, in my opinion, but I'm not big on the franchise as a whole. I am not as invested in it as Dan and Angela are. That's the reason why I brought them on the show to begin with, was because of the fact that they are huge Godzilla fans, and that was the franchise. We started the show with this franchise because the MonsterVerse portion of it, because
the 50s
Godzilla versus
footage
Kong had just come out.
of Godzilla coming
So
out
I
of the
said,
water, you don't get to
me and my
see
brother
his
decided, maybe
entire
we
body,
should
you
do
see the sails
the
on his back
MonsterVerse. So
coming out of the
that's why
water.
we
And
started with this, and I was like, well, we can't. We gotta bring Dan and Angela on.
You don't know exactly what they're trying to do.
He just wouldn't
They're
let us
gonna try,
leave.
Like
He keeps calling us at weird hours of the night.
Hey, at least you didn't have to be.
know what they're
At
doing.
least you didn't have to talk about any of the Resident Evil
Because
movies.
later on you find out
That's very
that
true. Even though I was planning
it's
to,
actually
you're
beneficial
like, no,
to
What's her name?
I love the fact that
He's like,
it's
"I'll keep
not
you a break."
an iguana
Right.
It's
that
the only
was on
break
an
you get.
island.
Yes,
that got
Billy,
hit by a nuke and then
I
turned
like
into
the
a
original
giant,
Mothra
just a
vs.
bigger
Godzilla,
iguana.
and it was actually
Like-
1964 was one of the few years
guys,
that two Godzilla movies came out.
Oh my!
Same year.
Literally, the funniest.
Guys,
the funniest
Guys, nothing,
Yes, that-
nothing, no Godzilla movie is better than the 1998 classic Godzilla. All right, nothing, nothing ever will ever beat this movie, this classic, celebrating 25 years this year. Meaning, we're doing an episode on Godzilla 1998 this year. I'm so excited. Hopefully, we'll be having a returning guest, and yeah, it's gonna be great. I can't wait to cover this movie. This movie is so fun.
Kaiju fans and Godzilla
Dude,
fans.
listen, I want a good heads up so I can order the
only
4K
imagine
copy
what it
because
was
I've heard the
like
4K is really good.
for you to
I heard
see
it's
the
not.
98 film.
Really? I've heard the opposite.
Yeah,
But it was earlier 4K, so maybe it hasn't held up.
Ebony, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you.
Just before I was 13, so
I was actually about to get to her comment. It was great. Yeah, 54 is the best. It's not, well, it's probably the best made one, or one of the best made ones in my opinion as well.
I actually didn't
Right.
mind the movie when I was younger.
Donka.
Then later,
Yes.
This is stupid.
Uh,
Like, what was
right.
that
Damn it. It's a Dustin
Why
or
did they
Justin?
call it I
Dustin.
feel like they only called it Godzilla because.
Oh wait, Justin from Epic
Oh,
Film
it
Guys.
Looks and Friends.
An IP.
Oh, Dustin.
was knowledgeable.
Yeah, see, I don't
people.
remember.
I think
I'm
if they
sorry,
had called
I'm
it
sorry.
something else, I think it was.
We've had two
popular
Dustins and a
people
Justin
saw-
on the show, so
people see it
sometimes I mean it's okay.
because they were like,
We
well,
understand
that.
It's got to be Godzilla.
I'm
but
a
yes.
good enough person to remember his name, so
No, it
Yeah,
wasn't.
yeah, you are. That's true. You are.
Exactly.
You got me on that. Yes.
It's a
The first Mechagodzilla appearance is the best because it's got a lot of great lines. Two Godzillas? What can it mean? The one that came out of Mount Fuji is a cyborg. The space metal is the evidence.
Yep.
That's their abridged version,
Well,
roughly.
the very
But
first
as a
time I
kid,
watched
loved-
that,
I
though,
loved
I
the-
was
I
like,
loved
that
that
doesn't sound
film.
like
But that's
Godzilla.
not
I know,
what we're
that's
talking
like
about.
the
We're
tail,
talking about
dude. Like,
this
how
one.
do you not
So,
fucking
yeah,
know?
so
I mean,
they-
you
so
should comic
the-
breath
we got the title
yellow.
sequence, and then they
Plus, he-
find
Ain't Weirus would attack his friend
they-
Godzilla.
they find the nest, right, of the first
Say his name in that movie.
Poor Angus,
Muto,
though.
right? And
He's
it
just- he's
escapes to the
choking on a
side- they-
hamburger.
or-
He's trying to help
yeah,
him
it escapes
out.
to the
By
side of
breaking
the
his
mountain.
jaw?
Exactly.
Well, that's where we first meet
Bleed out?
Ken Watanabe's character and
Oh
Sally
man.
Hawkins' character.
You already
Sally
asked the
Hawkins was
valid
in that scene
question.
as well.
I say yes, but it's not up.
Yes, we're going to
love-
cover other
I think
Godzilla
out
films.
of
We
all the
have
human
done. We did
characters
Shin Godzilla
in
last year.
in this.
And yeah, we plan on it. We have talked about possibly doing a Godzilla show on Patreon, doing like a weekly or a bi-weekly show where we go through from the beginning of
wipe the world out,
the franchise
literally
and
indestructible,
kind of just go through all of them.
and all that,
and, like, shorter reviews than what we do
Sally
here.
Hawkins, I think is a good getting into him too.
Well, yeah,
I
it's
really
all
enjoy her
about
work.
making sure we got the time to do
also
it
they-
and making sure we're not overwhelming ourselves with the other things we have planned on. But yeah, that has been a conversation, and we would like to bring in other people who are also fans of the franchise, because we know quite a few people since starting the show who are fans of the entirety of the Godzilla franchise. So it would be nice to bring in maybe special guests here and there. But that would be possibly a Patreon only show. We are trying to stick. We don't want to put too much stuff out there, because the thing is like with the, we don't want people's money. We only, it's only like, hey, if you can, that's awesome. It definitely helps us keep the show going, and someday we'd like to get better equipment and make the show sound a little better and work a little better. So
I thought they were really
that's ultimately what the Patreon is all about. But we do want to make sure that we're giving people their money's worth when they sign up for those higher dollar tiers. We don't know what they're going to be yet, but right now it's just the one for the early access to the episodes, and we feel for $1, it's well worth it getting it like almost a week early.
Charges up.
Yeah.
And I do want to thank all of our patrons. Let me hop into Patreon real quick and pop up my list.
I just remember watching it, and
because I'm a terrible person and can't remember everybody.
When you first
so all the amazing people who pretty much subscribe to the Patreon as soon as we released it. We have Johnny Browning, #1,
and then it
hopping in there. Doom Generation, Flicks and Friends, Billy Pennington. So we got pretty much everybody in here. We got Angela and Dan, and then the Baron's Hideout podcast, which I will be recording an episode with him this week. So
if that all
you
of that
guys,
didn't
if you
happen,
guys are listening to
and
this
his
later,
roar, oh my god, I think I probably bawled my eyes out. Like
it'll already be
best
recorded.
animal roar in
Yeah.
film
We'll be talking about
history,
some Screen
better than
Box
the T-Rex from
movies.
Jurassic Park.
Yep, sorry, T-Rex from Jurassic.
Yeah, sorry. I love
Today I watched a movie from
Great film.
1964. It was the oldest.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the oldest movies I've seen in a long time. It was called
Really?
A+,
Blood and Black
for
Lace.
this film, actually, for all
Interesting.
all of the
Yes.
Monsterverse movies.
Dude.
That was the OG kid interruption.
This movie,
Oh.
Yeah.
Need some liquor. Get your ass upstairs.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
I appreciate you, Fiore. I appreciate you, Billy. Appreciate everybody here. You guys are all. You guys make it. You know, you make this all worth it. You know,
probably doesn't need that.
this might have not started out the hottest, but you know what? We figured it out. It's going to be a fun episode to listen back on and laugh about. Can you guys hear the? Are we even hearing the episode right now?
Yeah.
The whole point of this was to
we go from
to listen to this and
Hey.
react to it,
the,
but
Muto Nest escaping, and then we go to
Excelsior!
Beef
Brian
stew.
Cranston's character. Was
Hello.
Joe
Yes.
Brody.
Hello,
All the
legend.
His wife and
Yes,
and their son.
kaiju. More kaiju will be coming up.
And,
Dude, actually, I
fun
have
trivia
a-
about
if we get to
their
watch
last name,
alongs.
so they named them the Brodies.
We are
after
gonna get
to
the
watch
main
alongs.
character from Jaws.
We have mentioned this. Angela and
their
I have
Pat family.
mentioned this.
It's kind of like an homage.
We have a
to
really
Spielberg
dope
and,
ass
you know,
kaiju
Gareth
movie we
Edwards is a
want
huge
to
fan
share
of
with the
Spielberg
world
and
that
Jaws,
almost
so
nobody outside
that was kind of an
Japan has
homage,
seen.
which of course is my
You
favorite
would know
film.
what it is.
He knows what.
Um,
Well, he probably knows what Pokemon is, but it's fucking.
I read a lot
awesome.
of unnecessary information,
Was there one
and
in
I listen to a lot of
we
podcasts that
watched
tell
it?
me
I
unnecessary
watched it.
information that I probably wouldn't have found out.
It's a hyper low budget kaiju film based on
It's weird.
back in the
Crazy.
60s and 70s. They used to make bootleg kaiju by like their own
Oh.
kaiju.
All right, do you
Sometimes
wanna
they're just
continue?
mashing
Do you wanna
parts of other kaiju
On the
together.
plot?
It was just a thing they did back in Japan, and they made a movie about it in like the early 2000s or something. Super independent, like it's cheap as fuck. No English subtitles, nothing. You just watch it, and it's amazing. It's like 30 minutes,
Well,
40
so
minutes
the-
long. It's
Yeah, yeah.
stellar.
This is a lot.
So, yeah,
this
so
is a
we-
lot of
the
human
plan
stuff
is
no one
I'd
cares
like
about.
to-
This is just a lot of like, so
I would like to do
So Bryan
watch
Cranston's
alongs
character, him and his
on
wife
like
work
going
on
back and doing
Power
watch
Plant
alongs
in
on some of the
Japan,
movies we've already covered.
and
I think that would be a lot of fun.
immediately,
Um,
Bryan Cranston sends his
Also,
wife
yeah,
down
I'd like to
level
do. I think
to
for like reviews
study
for like
the
our
seismic
Patreon
activity.
exclusive reviews, we're gonna do
level
movies that are
5,
kind of
get
related to
down
maybe
there
series we've
now,
already
all right?
covered.
And then
Because we did talk
seismic
about
activity
that. What was that
happens, and
movie
they're
we
all,
talked
you know,
about
things are
that was
happening,
directed
and
by
then
one
a
of the
giant,
visual
like,
effects artists
earthquake-style
or the
eruption
special effects artists from the Alien
happens.
franchise, Alec Gillis.
And
Harbinger Down.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
they, like,
yes.
So
toxic,
we were.
you know,
That is a plan. We will be doing
energy is really
a
flooding
small
through these
review
tunnels
on
in level
Harbinger
5,
Down, which is a movie that was
and the
directed by
wife's
Alec
going to
Gillis.
escape, and Bryan Cranston
The
is sprinting,
creature effects were done by Alec
to go
Gillis
save his
and Tom
wife.
Woodruff Jr., who were involved in the Alien
And it's too
franchise. It
late.
has
because she had to save, because she had to be a nice
who's
person
the
and
actor in
save
it?
someone who fell.
Oh,
That's it.
Bishop.
Damn it!
Bishop from Aliens.
Yes, Bishop. But I'm trying to think of his
Nuclear
name.
energy is
The guy
just
from Pumpkinhead. He's
towards
been in a
you.
lot of stuff. I'm
Immediately,
blanking on
if
his
you see him
name
for a
because my
second,
brain
you're
isn't
dead.
working.
But
But yeah,
sorry, Becky.
we're looking at that.
I gotta go.
Girl, I couldn't remember Vin Diesel
And
earlier either.
Listen,
Lance Hendrickson.
Lance Hendrickson. There we go.
is
So,
amazing.
I know it.
I love Bryan Cranston.
Thank you.
And the
Something I'm noticing from this
travesty that
episode
is
as I'm
film
watching it
is that
this was back for the longest time. I didn't
Bryan
take
Cranston
notes on movies. I literally
way too
would
early in
watch
this
the
film,
movie and
we
just
have to
go
deal with
in,
his
and then when I
obnoxious,
would forget what I
stone-faced
was
son.
like, what was coming up next, I would
digress.
ask
We'll
you
continue,
guys,
for
hey,
more
what
about
happened
so
next?
she dies,
I remember doing
the
that for like the
power
first like
plant
4 or
falls.
5
Everybody's
episodes
inside
until we got to
still, I think.
Jaws. And then there was like
And
one
Tyler
episode
is
I was like,
watching
I
from
can't do that
school.
anymore. I
This
gotta
is a young
take
child
notes
who's
of
watching
some
from
sort.
school as his
And
parents-
so, yeah,
That's
I
when
think
I
his parents are
told-
dead.
I think it
Didn't
was
have the things up.
Like
what?
8
I didn't have the
years or
things
so?
up.
No, well, 15 years
We
approximately.
did. We've had those up for a
Yeah,
lot.
but that was.
Um,
oh, wait.
And
Angel
It was back
glowing.
when
we
I
get to
was
meet
glowing. When I
Aaron
before I
Taylor
learned-
Johnson.
Wait, guys,
Playing
I'm
Ford
I'm
as
talking
an
about Aaron
adult.
Taylor Johnson, my favorite actor of all time.
Aaron-
Ford Brody or
Aaron
whatever his
Taylor
name is.
Johnson, I
He's the
loved him in
best.
Kick-Ass. thought he was really
Listen,
good in Kick-Ass, and that's
I
it.
will say it again.
That
I
is about it.
think he is a good actor,
terrible
just
Quicksilver
not in this movie.
Avengers Age of Ultron, and
yeah, I
I
agree.
heard he's good in Bullet
terrible
Train,
in this film.
which is the
And
latest
not just
movie
the
he's
fact
been
that
in.
he literally
Oh,
looked like he
dude,
didn't
I want
wanna
to see
be there.
Bullet Train.
Yeah, he's in that.
wanted to see that
He's
too, because
ripped.
we just-
He's
He literally
he's a
like
beast.
when
they're
we get to the
fucking
part
bitches
where,
left and
where
right.
Bryan Cranston
Damn.
goes, this is
He's
his
he's
father.
married.
He
His
looks
wife
like
directed
nothing,
the
like, who cares?
first
I don't care.
50
all right.
Shades
I'm sad
movie?
my dad died, and
Ugh.
Yeah.
I just
Lust.
never talk about it again.
Listen, if you don't ever want to watch those movies,
sister
which
in
I don't
Ultron,
ever
by the
plan
way.
on it unless
It's
somebody,
Goes from
unless
playing
like
brother
for
and
some reason
sister,
we
and
make like a
now-
really
now
high
they're
tier on
husband and wife
Patreon
in
and
this film.
let people pick it if they sub to
He
that
just calls her
and they
up, it's
choose
like,
Twilight
Joe
or
died,
50
and
Shades of
then-
Grey.
and we never hear from him again.
Watch. There's an excellent YouTube channel called Alex Myers.
He's coming home.
He's he watches a lot of like Disney Channel movies.
like,
He's like an
his
adult. He's
mom's
older.
right.
He's probably my age. Watches like Disney Channel movies and like critiques them as an adult.
Bomb disposal. And do you guys have any?
I just
want
wanna
to
torture
I want
these
to hear what
two.
you think of
Torture.
No, listen, I don't want a scene where like,
AKA
all right, I'm gonna put my
Aaron
finger
Taylor
in your
Johnson.
bum. You're gonna feel a little pressure,
the
then
other way
it'll
around.
give. Like I don't need that. Like,
But no,
just
if you
put
want,
it
if you really
in.
want to just watch a funny video that talks about movies that you're probably never gonna see, just go to watch. He's the animated one. He creates like he's got a little character that he creates. It's really good. I've literally been binging all of his videos on just like classic Disney Channel movies, like the Lizzie McGuire movie, and
oh shit,
yeah. And all those old Disney Channel shows that I watched when I was a kid, like Wizards of Waverly Place, because I had a huge crush on Selena Gomez, and I still do.
That was, I guess, before us or after us.
Yeah. I mean, I mostly watched it because of Selena Gomez, but
I agree. It's.
I want to
definitely
address
top
a,
three for
a
me.
question here.
Absolutely. And I know the guy can direct.
Dustin.
I just don't think he wanted to be there. He just wanted to be there.
Yes.
when I was an
New
extra on
Gamera
Gods,
series.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. Hold on. I gotta say this first. Dustin,
sorry.
Next week,
the new Gamera series looks awesome. I'm waiting to see what the other three kaiju are. I've got thoughts on who it might be, but it looks cool. But go ahead.
The studios.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna do because this is our Tony from Hack the
These
Movies.
director, like if you
this is when I was an extra on Gareth Zilla. I saw Aaron
it's
Taylor
called
Johnson with my own eyes. Did he look as bored in real life as he did in the movie? Because he looked bored as hell. Like he was literally someone like he was marching behind another soldier and he just had the script taped on the back of the dude's head and he's like just reading it. It's just,
But the thing was, I
oh no!
Keep your helmet straight.
Oh no! Just I'm gonna save this kid from this train. Oh no!
The studio was like, oh, we need all.
I don't know,
Yes,
man.
I gotta get back to my
doesn't make sense to
fucking
the vision.
family
Like,
by
can
being
you
a hobo and
just
hitting
To be honest, I would have rather them just switch the roles and had Elizabeth Olsen be like the main character because I feel like she would have put more into it.
From 2015.
Or we could have just not killed Bryan Cranston off. You know?
That would have been the most probably the thing they should have done.
Fantastic job with Chronicle.
Then we just see you could still have him as a character, but like super side character.
Chronicle. I shouted out Chronicle. Chronicles. Everybody, if you've never seen Chronicle with Michael B. Jordan, he's the Dane DeHaan before he went off and was a really bad Green Goblin in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Watch Chronicle. It's a really good superhuman show or movie. Sorry. Yeah, and the director would go on to direct the really good 2015 Fantastic Four movie.
So we really just
oh yeah,
yeah, that's a chef's kiss right there.
We do things in this film.
Dude, you should have asked him for money.
He was
If we're family,
swaggering
then you
and
should
macho. He said to the extras, "I consider all of you my family." I hope he was. I hope that was true. Are we sure that wasn't Vin Diesel? Did he have a Corona in his hand?
Yeah, where did he come
Yeah.
from?
Oh,
Why do I
please.
care?
Oh my gosh.
But that's
Please
well,
make
back to Aaron Taylor Johnson. He is a
Can't die.
stone-faced,
You got
terrible
family.
actor. in this film.
A stone-faced, terrible
I think the
actor,
only
as
time
I
you see
said.
Smile is like
about
when
Aaron
him
Taylor
and
Johnson.
Elizabeth Olsen have a
I
conversation on their
can't.
couch about things I don't care. That's true.
Do you guys? I haven't seen you guys wear these shirts
Yes.
since that episode.
I
That
eat
shirt
mine.
is
I ate it.
it's too small.
So
Actually, Angela, you might have wore that for the King of the Monsters episode
so he
because
goes
of
home, sees his
Ghidorah.
family, that's whatever.
Maybe.
And then he gets a
It's
call, or
tight.
she gets a
I don't
call
wear it
that Joe got arrested in Japan.
Actually, I like my Ghidorah shirt. I actually wear it quite a bit.
because
not
it's in a quarantine zone since the you know,
love
the
that shit.
explosion.
I love that movie.
Because he is
What,
Giant rock
thinks
monster.
he's crazy.
What, King of the
because
Monsters?
He knows that it wasn't.
No, the shirt I have for
What did they
Gazora.
say it was?
Oh.
It was just a.
It's another Toho kaiju movie, but it's not Godzilla.
Explode.
It was during their I think it was 1970 or 1971. It was during their. It was kind of like the last of their big South Seas movies. They had like a thing in the late 60s going into the early 70s where they made a shit ton of movies about like the Pacific, like kaiju on the Pacific Islands and stuff. It's what it's.
Okay, so it was
Anyway.
kind of like a Chernobyl event. That's what they were saying it as.
It was a giant rock. There was a giant squid. There was a giant rock.
So everybody thinks he's crazy because he
rock
knows
crab
that it
and giant
wasn't. Like he's, but no one believes him, and even his dumb son.
Faced amoeba.
You're crazy, Dad. You don't know. Like this dude has been studying for since it happened of everything going on, and his son's like, Dad, you're crazy. You're just crazy, Dad. Shut up, Dad. You're dumb.
Gareth put a microphone up to the face of a real soldier who was an extra who said, I loved shooting up Godzilla.
No.
Gareth laughed and said, I don't know what you're talking about. The movie is.
Risking his military career.
Was that it? Was that it?
Like, you know for a fact that if they were really
Yes,
arrested,
there you
he
go.
would strip
Yeah,
all of his military accolades, probably been, taken out of the military. Like his job in the military was so high, right? You think? Like being a bomb. Oh my.
Partner!
What'd I
I've
do?
seen movies where they do that, right? They just like
Rip
rip
off
off.
your mouth.
Give me that medal.
I'm hit.
He's like, I know what I did. You're not supposed to see that.
Oh my goodness.
People who weren't here
And,
live
and,
when they listen to
so
this
they
on
got
Friday,
arrested
they're gonna be like,
and,
what the
brought
fuck happened?
into Maui
Where's
Yeah,
the quality? Because it went down the
in the
shitter.
beginning of the movie.
Oh,
when we discovered the
absolutely.
Muto nest.
Oh,
We were fully
What
introduced to
happened?
them in this where they discover
don't
another,
know.
chrysalis or cocoon. What cocoon? Would you say? What'd you call it?
It would be more of a cocoon or chrysalis.
Gosh, you sound shitty.
Right.
I do. The
And,
audio quality is
and then we
such
get to hear
ass.
Ken Watanabe talk, and
I
I'm
feel
just
like it hasn't
I'm
gotten
like,
that much better.
Sell me on this, and he slowly starts believing Joe.
Thanks.
Of course,
Some
because
things we
they
learn.
study this crazy stuff.
I noticed my pajama pants I'm
And,
wearing in that. by the way. I see that.
And then
I'm always
as
wearing
they're
pajama
about
pants.
to, like,
I'm never wearing normal
No,
pants.
you were right this
I'm always
whole
wearing
time.
sweatpants. Are
then the
listen, no
cocoon
one's
starts
seeing my
to
legs.
break
No
out,
one's
or they're
seeing
trying to-
down below.
what these
So
mutos
it's,
are
I'm
doing
wearing pants
is they
every
all
episode.
feed-
Don't
all
worry,
these creatures
everybody.
feed off the nuclear
But,
energy,
Only
correct?
we
So-
see that when he gets up.
So
Yeah,
what it does is
yeah.
it goes to this.
Yeah, because that was the
plant,
code name
the
it was
old-
under
where
too. Was
Joe used to
Nautilus
work, and
or
it's
whatever.
Yep.
Sucking all of the nuclear energy
So
from the
I was
plant.
going to. I'm telling you, like one of these times we're gonna
And
do this shit
that's when
live,
they had figured
and I'm
out,
just
oh,
gonna like
the-
just
they
no
were
pants. Like I'm gonna be
Just
wearing
like,
just like
you know,
no
trying to
pants at all.
destroy
Just,
Godzilla.
and I'm
This
just
big
like,
old
in the-
hog
It
just
was actually
flops
helping
out.
him out, keeping him.
All you hear is just
you know,
hit the
strong.
desk. Just
and it was kind of it's food for them, which is
How do you
such a
keep
weird
breaking desks?
concept.
I don't know.
This is our
Like-
third one.
I'll
this
just
year.
let that hog loose and it
It's
just.
just like
I just
All
dropped
right,
something on it,
cool.
bro. No,
Like-
sir, this desk was like.
How
it
do
was
you
hit
think I
100
have 3
and then you
kids?
just continue to see like the things that
Listen,
these.
I'm the only one that's
do.
allowed to oversell
Is
someone's
this the
penis.
Muto that grows wings and
First
flies
off, don't be
away?
fucking cutting into my racket.
Which is the male, right? And then
I gotta stop doing that. I'm gonna kill
myself.
myself. Oh
Any-
man.
Okay, so that
Yeah.
one,
There's one like
so
just
that one left
stand
and
up,
went
like
to
at the end of the
that.
like thing. Like, all right, streams over, just stand up, no fucking pants. I'm not getting like dicks
okay,
flopping,
okay,
you know. I'm
I
gonna
got
like
you.
these like a little tent action, but you guys are gonna work for it.
Like,
Or I'll have like a bag of potatoes.
Better
like,
drink some
potato
water.
chip. So like, bam. thick
I'll have some of
potatoes.
that quality H2O.
So Godzilla, it actually you
This
guys
water
are
bottle has a straw and I
know
just tipped it
more
like an
than I
idiot.
am. I'm just gonna spew shit.
Oh, dude, I hate doing that.
What's proposed in the film is the
Uh.
male. The male.
Dude, I
Oh.
wish I could wear pajama pants 24/7. That'd be awesome.
Once it does,
Work from home.
So you know what's funny is that even in this first episode, I didn't even have a logo made up for it yet. So it was just like I just typed that into like a Word document file and just saved it, and it was like, there you go.
Good enough.
There we go.
Fine.
Dude, it's what it's all about, man. When you want to get something started, it, like for me, I'm like, let's just get this shit going.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Me.
The thing here's the thing. I wish I went into it doing a little bit more research
It's like I'm the king here.
on
and then has to go
software and stuff that doesn't cost me money. because like I jumped into Pod, like we use Podbean to distribute the podcast. Well, it's not free. And then I didn't find out about Anchor, which is now Spotify for podcasters, until like halfway through doing the show. And I almost switched over to it, but the problem is it resets all your stats. Like it can't transfer all your download stats and all that. And not that I feel it would have been that big of a deal, because like those downloads are still there. Like people still downloaded the show, but it was just like it was the anxiety in me. It's like I don't want to do that. I don't want to deal with that.
On a helicopter.
So we're still here.
And yeah, that was
Bye, Dustin.
Bye, Dustin.
It's part of this movie. Like he dies on a helicopter.
Have a good one, man. Feel better. Thanks for being here.
The bridge. No one really cared.
Dustin had a long weekend. He went to I think it was MegaCon down in Florida.
Yeah, I remember him posting about that. That's dope.
Those are long days going around those conventions.
Comes from the Mutos,
which hopefully,
just that kind of
hopefully I'll be able to attend some over the next year.
But it's so cool. It sounds like a really deep sonar. Like when it. Oh man.
I can't wait till people start listening to our podcast. It's gonna be awesome.
One day, guys.
Now,
I'm just kidding.
We need help. We need help. Someone listen to our show.
That's what it was like the first day. We're just like, we could just be talking to the ether right now. We'll never know.
I mean,
here we are.
Let me see. Well, let me look out. So this video right here, which the video portion of this didn't get released on YouTube until
no, spoiler alert.
Probably like the end of 2021. So like a good 6 plus months after this was actually recorded. We released the first 3 or 4 episodes on podcast services in mid-May.
Sally Hawkins' character, which I can't remember her name.
And we are somewhat. I know it was a joke, everybody. Sarcasm.
We respect it.
We're just kidding.
They're pretty much telling.
We love everyone who listens to the show. We appreciate you, because to be honest, where the show is right now is way more than what I expected it to be. So
you're just talking about how there's
like I was saying, we did this first episode. We didn't have anybody. We literally could have just been talking to the ether. Nobody could have listened to that.
Yeah, exactly.
It went nowhere.
And how they were using nuclear.
So our first episode,
Godzilla, not knowing
actually, our first episode's actually done pretty well.
Nuclear energy from the bombs.
But like it was a good while. We still get some people that like will go in there and download the first series, as I would call it, of like the OG episodes of the Parker Chronicles episodes. Godzilla sits at 72, which is a pretty decent number for an episode where the audio was wonky. As you can tell by listening to this, I am loud. You guys are really quiet, and I remember because this was just straight up on Twitch. It wasn't able to like adjust things in editing. I just would be like, there you go, guys. And if you go back and listen to the podcast version, like the audio file, it's the same thing. I didn't edit any of those episodes. I just released them. I was just like, I don't know. It wasn't until we became Dissect That Film and we did
it's actually a cool image
Jurassic Park. That was the first episode I ever edited, because I actually put in like pictures and stuff and an intro and
yeah. No one else has submarines in the world.
I remember you telling us this. You're like, I'm just uploading it. Like, sweet.
Yeah, pretty much.
Come on.
Sounds like me. Like, just get this shit out there.
We need more people to go back and listen to our episode on Cruel Jaws, which was episode 9. It's sitting at 32 downloads, everybody. 32. It's one of our lowest downloaded episodes of the show, period. Go back and listen to those episodes, because it was a blast to talk about this movie that is absolutely batshit crazy. Also, once you check out our episode on Cruel Jaws, our good friend Tony from Hack the Movies also covered Cruel Jaws, which is one of the reasons why I started listening to his show so much, was because he covered that movie. I was like, I respect him so much for doing this.
I literally just watched a documentary about a tsunami.
So yeah, come on, everybody, go back and listen to our Cruel Jaws episode. I'm gonna go through and find some like episodes where I feel like it's just our Bad Boys 2 episode 25. Oh my god, come on, people.
It's still terrifying.
Where's our Day of the Dead episode?
I think the funny thing was like I'm watching.
Actually, I don't think that one is as low as you think.
The dog was tied to the tree.
Like 6.
It was sitting at 10 for a long time.
Yeah, on a video portion. 10. Like
That
nobody
37 on the podcast services. Make sure to go back and listen to our Day of the Dead. Guys, just go back and listen to all our old episodes and tell your friends, all right? Because guess what? It might not be as good as what we're doing now, but we had a lot of fun with those episodes, and we were still learning. We're still learning today. I'm not going to lie to you. But it was a lot of fun to go back and talk about those episodes or in those movies, because I had never seen the movie. Dan was dying to talk about it, and after it's all said and done, it was a blast to talk about, because that movie is very good.
I wanted to see was the thing that happens 12 seconds later.
37.
Which is
Can you believe that?
Flares in their
I just found out my girlfriend sucked 37 dicks. What, in a row?
And
no. Hey, try to suck your dicks on your way out of the parking lot. You get back here.
That's why I got the red lights on.
Nobody likes our Batman.
This movie is very red.
Hey, dude, speaking of that,
completely different color.
Angela and I were talking about this. I don't know how official this
but
is.
The red
rumor
flares
mill shit, but I heard Clayface
past these
being the
giant
next
windows
Batman.
at the probably the coolest airport I've ever seen.
Dude, I hope that's the fucking
I don't even know what airport it is, but it's really
cool.
cool.
Probably gets the
giant windows, and the flares fall down, and it's just a giant leg. Just steps, and then it pans up, and you get like that really ominous sound.
I guess we have questionable.
Shows Godzilla
like
takes
are,
and then he roars.
They'll never love Jurassic Park 3
coolest
as much as,
sound I've ever heard in my life. Just the fact that he roars,
or
and
any other,
is he inhaling?
Whatever,
that
any
makes
other
that like other sound that happens after he roars.
That's
true.
What I was trying to say. That's true. Words. Well, that was all of our bros in India that kept watching that video for some reason.
Oh my god! It literally? I've seen.
We're
this
talking
movie
about the airport scene, by the way. For those of you keeping up with the
times
actual podcast in the background, we're first
every
appears at
time
the
that scene
airport,
comes up,
it does
I
that
get
dope
goosebumps
ass
because
roar,
it's just
and
so
it fucking explodes.
well.
Dude, like
It's
flesh
so well
rips off your
shot.
face
The
in the movie
CG
theater because it
is
sounds so fucking
amazing.
good.
Like the because it's raining, so it's like he's glistening, and then the
glistening
coming down.
I just heard the word glistening.
Just tops it all off. And it's not even just the roar, like I said. It's whatever he does after he roars. I don't know. It sounds like he's inhaling, but it's like a weird rumble sound. Oh man, so good, so good.
That was my streaming setup. Like, to be honest, that was one of the 17 different positions I've been in this one little space. Because literally all I do is I rotate.
Yeah.
So actually where I was in this video was over here, and now I'm back to my original spot. But that was my stream setup, because on the TV I would put Twitch streams behind me and set up like live stream shout outs. So like, hey, you want to know who's on the TV? Just type this command in the chat. And of course I had all those raise cans that now are in the trash.
I hate it.
Wow.
But hey, the Blades of Chaos, you see them in the video. They're right there.
But
they're still here. They're still here.
Like,
yeah, that's true.
The Jaws poster that you see kind of in that corner.
For the
Is that
next
behind me?
minute and a half.
It's right here next to me. You guys can't see it.
I watched it with a friend.
You got Michael and Tony.
Yeah, Michael is right there wearing the Batman mask. It's Michael and Toby. Named for all the audio listeners who are like, what are they talking about? Well, I'm just showing things around my room as we're looking at the old video of me, and we're looking to see if things in the video back then are in the video here.
Oh, this is happening in
all our stuff is still back there. It's just
shot.
You guys, in this one though, you can't really see. The video quality is a little, so it's hard to tell what's back there.
But I mean, and it sucked because the shot that they
and then I didn't have all my movies because I had all my movies in boxes, and so I only had like a select few. So now I have all of them out. Plus, I have all these VHS tapes.
Is this when you were setting up your West Wing? Is that why?
Yes, exactly.
Yep. Dude, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, if I had a shit ton of money,
it's just like a stupid shot.
Just an ass ton
and I'm
money.
trying to. And
I would get a hold of
on what happens after this.
Or I would give you $1,000 if you allow Parker can't be in the house.
Come on,
I want
I
a
brought
fucking
you on for this
refrigerator.
reason.
You're gonna put on that right side of your fucking screen right here. So there's a refrigerator in your shot since your brother's not around anymore.
Right,
don't
right
tell
here.
him, hey,
so you can see it. Only a little bit of it though.
So they're following.
Yeah, but I'll be like, I will give you $1,000 and I will pay to have a refrigerator delivered to your house. Just have them put it there.
Favorite Owen Wilson movie? Ooh, Anaconda.
It's got to be Anaconda.
I'm sticking to it. Stream some God of War. I to be honest, I have not played video games in months, and to be honest, I have no desire to play video games. I don't know what happened. My brother got me a PS5 to play the new God of War, and I played 3 hours of it. And and it's not even that I don't think the game's good. I just don't care to play video games, like any games to begin with. Like I don't care. One day I'll get back to it. It's not like I'm actually excited about that co-op Aliens game that's coming out. That looks pretty decent. That'd be cool to like co-op people. But you know what? I said that about a lot of other co-op games and never got to them. So
yeah, and then they're
well, the one that came out,
all the
Fire
it's
Team
not that
Alpha
one. There's a newer one.
Well, I know Fire Team Alpha was like shit when it launched, but apparently it's pretty decent now.
I mean, it's a really
I have it
it's a
upstairs,
really
about
cool
$10,
shot
like,
where they open the hall and the
never
light shines
played
in, and then they look in the distance.
Shanghai Nights and Shanghai Noon. Those are fun Owen Wilson movies. No, there's other Las Vegas. Anaconda is definitely not my favorite, but to be honest, he's a good. I mean, that movie is just absolutely insane. And Owen Wilson is hilarious in it. And not in a way that he's like normally funny. It's just like his character is funny. Because he's just an idiot.
Where the firefighters are like.
But also, I need a 4K restoration of Anaconda because, to be honest, that $5 Blu-ray can suck my.
So cool.
Because that thing is terrible. It's literally just the movie, and it has the worst cover ever.
I sound like an idiot.
It's so bare bones, dude.
I sound
It's disrespectful.
Right.
We like
Right,
Vinegar
okay.
Syndrome or
This
some shit
ship's
like
going
that.
down.
Like a proper restoration.
I really want to find a VHS of it because I love the old VHS cover of it. But like, look at this garbage. What is this?
Right. They put a nuke.
What is that?
I bought it twice. I bought it fucking twice.
You know what's
Because I had it
funny?
upstairs.
The cover of the Blu-ray is the coolest thing because that's the cover we wanted.
Ate it.
That's the OG VHS cover of the eyes of the snake.
Yep.
That's what I want. Also, I want a Blu-ray restoration of Komodo from 1999 because that movie is just, to be honest, just as entertaining as Anaconda. It's not that good, but it's really fun to watch. I remember watching that as a kid. I love schlocky 90s movies like Anaconda, Godzilla 98, Komodo. Remember Python? Oh, no. Cobra.
Such a bad. It was all
Cobra.
It was literally they had when
the Muto finally makes
an actual giant cobra. It was like the size of the anaconda in Anaconda.
Destroys the train, like it being at night, and you don't see it the whole time. You see it in like when it gets close.
Did you see the VHS cover, the hairless cat coming out of the other cat's mouth?
It's just dark.
What movie was
I'm
that?
sorry. What movie are we talking about?
What movie is
But
this?
yeah, the whole fact of throwing the nuke on the train was kind of stupid.
Cat over here.
Can't not see.
I can't see it that far away. My contacts need.
We don't need to see ourselves anyway. We just have it up.
It was more of a lure, right? They were trying to lure.
That's even still blurry. My contacts need to come out of my balls.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a big Air Force One. Never seen it.
Sarazawa.
Yes.
Gary Oldman's in that?
You're not Air Force One.
Fuck no.
Oh,
He's
I remember
fired.
the advert. Oh, don't give me that.
Air Force
good.
One
You
with
ever seen
Harrison
Fifth Element?
Ford.
Yes.
You leave.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that beautiful VHS of Air Force One starring Harrison Ford and Gary Oldman. Directed
so
by
good.
Wolfgang Peterson, who also directed The Perfect Storm and Troy.
And Sarazawa didn't have a better plan, and his opposition to it was
He just died, actually.
his father died
Last year.
Hiroshima, and he had a stopwatch
Yeah.
when it stopped.
Oh, Broken Arrow.
Hiroshima, and
Broken Arrow is awesome. Story time. When I was a kid, my parents got divorced when I was young. That's not that big of a deal. But my dad lived. He rented like a room from a rich guy, and he had 2 VHS tapes. And every time we would go to my dad's house, we would watch the same 2 VHS tapes, and it was Bad Boys 1 and Broken Arrow. So the amount of times me and my brother watched both those movies is just astronomical. But the theme, which is awesome, is also used as Dewey's theme in Scream 2,
Godzilla makes it to San Francisco,
Scream 5, and it's heard in Scream 6.
Why would you follow him this entire
The
time?
exact
random.
same theme.
And then you realize,
No
oh
joke.
my god, these bullets aren't penetrating him. Let's waste all of
Oh,
our
I got
ammo
excited.
on
We got to the
this
part where people were getting
I
penetrated. I'm
mean-
sorry.
Penetration.
All right. just keep firing on him.
Oh,
And
The
he gets
Uninvited.
pissed
Yeah,
off,
isn't that
he
what the
pretty
Killer
much,
Cat
brushes it
movie?
off, and
Yeah.
he's like, oh shit, my sales
I
are
keep
like
I get that one mixed
35
up with
feet tall.
Prophecy, which
And
is
they're
like the
just
bear movie, like
accidentally
the hairless
destroys the
bear
Golden Gate
movie.
Bridge. Just sorry. And then yeah, that's when the
Which one,
Mutos
hairless bear?
meet up
No.
can call 'em
and
Gentle
they
Ben.
do their thing, and
Oh, what?
the
Gentle
female
Ben.
goes and lays her eggs. Yep, they do their weird thing, and she lays them. She
Oh.
takes the.
Are you guys enjoying watching this? Can you guys even hear the episode?
And
We were
hangs
like,
her
Are we
Fuck
just
yeah,
not? Are we just
uses
talking
her
too much
eggs to
over
hang
it?
Like it's a weird.
That's okay, guys.
Look, right?
We're
That's
having a
what
good
they did.
time.
Like it was like the eggs were holding.
Everybody's
on
like,
to
"What
the
is that
eggs.
voice
They were
back there?
feeding
Who's
off of
talking?
the
Somebody else
nuclear
talking?
energy.
Yeah, it's me, because I talk a lot."
Occasionally, you can hear his
And
brother's
we
refrigerator
get
talk too.
one of the coolest shots of the entire movie, where they're gonna do
It
a
does. It'll bite your
skydive
head if you're wearing steak on it.
into San Francisco.
Oh, this scene
in
is still
between
one of my
the,
favorite
Godzilla
scenes.
and
Is the skydiving
male
scene
Muto
in
fighting.
Godzilla,
Halo-
where there's no
yeah.
sound.
The Halo drop. or
Yeah, and
whatever.
there's no
Dude,
sound.
I mean,
It's
is
just them
actually a really
flying
cool
in,
shot
and
because
they,
you don't
they
get
and the
any-
best is
you
when they're
don't get
like
any
they
sound.
got the red flares coming off, and then they're
It's
going
pretty
next to
much what
Godzilla,
the
and you just see like
skydivers
his
are
skin. You're just like, this is cool.
And them
This is a
flying
cool
through,
scene.
like in between them, and like kind of
No,
going down
all he has to do is
Godzilla's
move
body.
wrong and wham!
Man, it was
But
so
them just
long ago. I
going-
was still
just
wearing
going at
those
it.
cool rubber bands. You know, they
And,
used to have like things written on them.
so
Like you get one for like
Yeah.
Live
the
Strong
female
and
then
other
goes and helps
stuff.
the
I had
male
one.
fight Godzilla.
Huge hole.
Actually, when I was in high school,
And
I think I
do
probably
some
wore
work
like
on
6 of them at a time
and
of all
the
different
soldier
shit.
people are like, "Hey, guy who
Action
defuses bombs, let's go
Jackson?
defuse this." Or let's
Didn't-
go. I believe they were
Didn't
gonna- they needed to.
I think Carl
disconnect the
Weathers
bomb
did the
and they needed to
voice
get it out
of
the city.
Combat
They were just gonna
Carl
find a-
in Toy
and
Story
they weren't even
4
gonna try to destroy the eggs
because he was in Action Jackson,
destroy these things that once they're born, there's gonna be
and because it was called Combat Carl, and they're like, we have to have Carl Weathers be the voice of him. He also just directed an episode of The Mandalorian.
Ford is smart enough to do,
Irony.
and this entire film.
I mean, he's
like,
in
"Oh,
the
shit,
show
we probably
too,
should
so.
destroy these, huh?
Eh.
Like, good job, Ford. You did
To be
something
honest-
useful in this film. Thank you.
Mandalorian season 3, just it's not hitting me. It's not hitting me
Yeah,
like
and
it
so
once did.
They,
I don't know if it's just
uh,
Star Wars
disconnect
fatigue
the
as it is
bomb,
with Marvel.
and they're carrying it
mm.
away, and he's like, "Oh shit, there's a tanker truck there. I'm gonna."
Also, Toy Story 4. Back to
unscrew
that.
it," and then there's a bunch of other things
I
with
don't.
gas
I
and
think it's a great movie.
pouring all over the place, and then it blows up the eggs.
Unnecessary, but it's
Well,
fantastic.
she doesn't get far enough away to not get blasted by it. So he. Went
It's
from being
fine.
smart to immediately
I'm
being an
not
idiot
I'm
again.
not having as good of a time as I did with season 2
We can't put
and
our
with
eyes on
season
it.
2.5, which was also Book of Boba Fett, which was annoying.
And then,
But yeah,
the
I'm just
female
it's
comes and
not
does her
it
little
it
cry,
kind of feels
which
like they're
was kinda
reverting
sad.
back to season 1, where it's a lot of
Because
just
the thing is, if you think about it, like,
one-off stuff that just doesn't matter to me. I don't know.
Creatures are huge.
I'm still
and they
watching them every
think
week because I
the
love Pedro
Mutos are
Pascal and I
doing this
love the Star
be
Wars universe, and
bad. Like, they're
I'm
not
I'm
bad
hoping
guys. Like,
things
they're
get
not
better,
doing
but
it
it's just
because they're
not
like,
it's
"I'm
not hitting my
evil.
feels
I
up,
want to
man.
destroy the world. No, they're
Thank you, Stu.
gigantic creatures. What the
He's
hell?
the
else?
Dandalorian.
Godzilla is the savior.
This is something he's
of the
always
world, but
done.
Yeah, he destroys.
thing,
his-
it's a thing.
helps destroy a city.
Screw
So
Marvel
it's-
fatigue. I don't need it. I got other movies to watch. I will still watch all the Marvel stuff because I just feel like I'm so invested in. I mean, I've been in it since the beginning, and I just feel like I got to keep going. But they just don't get me excited. Where I'm like, oh,
He doesn't
cool,
skip
I'll go
leg days.
see. You
He
know,
doesn't skip leg days.
I mean, to be honest, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I was so pumped about, and I went to go see it, and I was like,
But
eh. It was a movie, guys. It was fine. Ant-Man 3. I was like, let's go. And now I'm like, I'm so excited for Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Right.
As animals. I'm glad they treat them this way.
But
like obviously you would
I feel like I don't know.
Not
Right.
really.
It's just not gonna live up to what I want it to be.
We're switching perspectives.
Yeah, I even told Angela we walked by the movie theater and had a poster for it in the front window, and I'm just like, am I the only one that's not really excited to watch this movie? I'm so
Right.
burned out on superhero movies.
Anyway, carry on. That was all I had.
To be honest,
Yeah,
I'm
Godzilla's
kind
a
of
little
like
jealous 'cause he
I
doesn't
love going
have,
to the
you know,
movies. I love going to the
doesn't
theater,
have
but to be honest,
You know,
I've
he's
just like the
"Oh,
last
no,
couple
man, you
weeks
get
I've
to
had
have fun
no
with this
energy
other-
to go to
this
the
woman
movies.
and have
Like
some
I've been
babies,
meaning
and
to go
now
see
we're here
65, which we've
swimming in
talked
the
about
ocean
wanting to
doing-
do a review on it, but it's like I just
doing things.
I just haven't had the energy to do any of that. Like I want to go see Dungeons and Dragons because everyone's saying it's fantastic,
See the first,
and so I'm excited to go see that at some point. But
Atomic
I have
Breath.
names for both movies.
I've
man.
just been
Another
loving
amazing shot.
sitting
And I
on
think
my
that's the
couch
great
and
thing
watching
about being
movies.
The first movie
Yeah, she does have brilliant memes
is
for
that
both
these
movies.
shots are just so much cooler because the first time
I've
you
heard
see
good
them,
things. I've
where,
heard
like
good things.
in the later films when you see him use it.
I just
Actually,
watched
I
The
talked
Town with Ben
still cool
Affleck
as
and
hell.
Jeremy Renner. Recently, so good. I
feel
watched that
like
movie in
he,
high school with my
I feel
best
like
friend
in
at the
this
time,
movie, it was like,
and that movie is fantastic.
why
I
wasn't
have
he
not
using
seen
this
it since
before?
then,
why was
so
he
I don't
not
know if it
using this
lives up.
comic?
But I
Why
do. I
did
think
he
I
not
own it
use
because I think I have like
Why
a double
wait
pack
all
with
the way
the
until this
with
point
Argo.
to use it? When in other films, spoiler alert, he uses it a lot.
I'll watch Iron Man
It's
1.
like
Iron Man 1 is still
it's
one of
like
the
it's
top
unlimited.
tier Marvel movies.
They tried to make
It's fantastic.
Yep.
Do you like that pitch meeting chant? Not really. Isn't that Screen Rant? I do like Screen Rant because I'm hoping to get one of their guys from like one of the guys from Screen Rant on the show because I follow him off it. He's actually does a lot of stuff with
It makes sense. I mean, it's really cool
Hack the Movies,
that
Joey
that's
C.
how they did it because it's
He's actually going to be on the newest Hack the Movies episode, which will be out tomorrow for everyone who's watching this live. Where they're covering the Super Mario Brothers movie, which we've already covered last year.
It starts
So.
from the
Yes,
tip
we
of his
did.
tail,
And
like the
we're
camera
gonna go
shot,
see the new
and it
one.
pans all the way up until
Yeah, but he
his eyes go
he's
blue,
a
and
he's an
he
awesome dude,
blasts it out
and I'm hoping at
blast
some
that-
point we can
the-
get him
the
on.
man
Hopefully, I'm
Muto.
trying to shoot for May
So
to try
cool.
to get
The
him on the
sound
show
effect
because
is charging up
we
that
have
Nemesis
stuff
was
planned
talking
already.
about.
We're going to be
So
next
good.
week. We have our
Um,
or after this episode, which
I
we're
don't
gonna
know
the audio
why this
version
movie didn't
for everyone who
win the
didn't get
Oscar
to
for
catch this
sound design,
alive.
'cause
There
it's
should be
so
listening to
good.
it this Friday, and then the week after that will be our Titanic episode, which we did with Ashley from Lullaby the Fear podcast. And then we're going to be doing 4 weeks of Disney, which we already recorded our first episode of our Disney movies, where we're talking about Disney classics along with their live action counterparts. So we already
he
recorded
was
our
like-
Beauty and the Beast
he was
episode,
like, "Oh my God, I'm getting
which,
my ass kicked right now," 'cause he
spoiler
kinda
alert,
was. He was-
Dan-
I mean, he was fighting
Dan
two of them,
was
and he's
not
getting
feeling
tossed
so
around
hot
like
in that
one of them
episode.
can
So
fly.
just
Like, one of them
just
can come
letting
up
you all
and-
know now
you know,
for
like
when
I
you
said,
get to
he's
that
got
episode and you go, what
butterflies.
happened to
He's like-
Dan?
he's getting picked
Dan
up
was
and
not
dropped,
feeling
but
100% in that episode. So it was me and Angela for most of it, but Dan was there and he was a trooper and we love him for it.
Very agile.
But we're excited because next week we're going to be recording his episode, which will be The Jungle Book. We're going to be covering, which I have the movies already pulled out, even though I'm going to be probably watching them on Disney Plus. I got, we're going to be covering the animated film, and then of course we're going to be covering the very good live action adaptation. We might even be sprinkling in some conversation about the Mowgli, which was the Andy Serkis one they did on Netflix.
That was it. It wasn't a sound. No, that
Really?
was what his thighs sound like.
No, we
when
won't
rubbed
go
together.
super into detail about it. I just want to mention it in the episode.
Yeah, I'll let you do that because I ain't watching that. So go.
But we
fine.
can watch it on
It's a-
Disney Plus now.
It's a darker take on the Jungle Book. Like it's more
He's like,
closely related to the
Gotta use
book
it more.
itself.
It's gotta happen.
Mm.
Right. Our Disney Plus decided to work.
Yeah, our Disney Plus works now.
Hey, that's a good thing, especially when
Yeah.
what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need
I
it.
was,
Oh yeah.
I was just paying for it. I was like, fuck
So-
it, I'll rent it. Whatever.
Return to Oz is a Disney classic.
Right,
That
so-
movie is nightmare fuel. But I will wait. I am happy to cover it. I do want to do. I do want to cover the Wizard of Oz at some point. I don't know when, but at some point we are going to cover the 39 Wizard of Oz because it needs to be talked about on the show.
Well, the female one, I believe,
Michelle Monaghan. I agree.
like is chasing.
I
after
watched
the-
Kiss Kiss
the
Bang
soldiers
Bang,
who
and
have
let
the
me
nuke.
tell you, made me laugh from the. It's a
And they're gonna put it
great
on a boat,
movie,
they're
and that
gonna
is a
kinda
movie.
autopilot the boat,
Shane Black
like, way
directed
far
that
out,
movie.
and
He was
it's
the
supposed to
director of
explode,
Iron Man
so it doesn't
3. He
cause
also
any
did The
damage to the city.
Predator,
Which
and he
eventually
was
would, because
in
that's
the
how
original
radiation
Predator movie.
works.
Yeah, he directed that. That's probably his best movie, in my opinion.
What? How did Bruce?
That
Wayne
was the
live?
first
Spoiler
movie
alert.
that Robert Downey Jr. did after he
It's
got
all
clean,
figment of
and that was
Alfred's-
right
it's all
before Iron
figment
Man.
of
So that was like the
Alfred's
beginning of his
imagination.
like
We're gonna get to
return.
those films at some point in the future.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, it's such a dumb
Like,
thing.
I
But
know
like the
of the
Muto
really
attacks everybody, and
I had a Dan cough there. Damn,
Godzilla
I'm so
eventually
sorry.
kills
Holy
the
shit.
male.
that one hit
Ages,
me like
dude.
a ton of bricks.
How does he
It's
kill
through
him?
computers, dude.
'Cause I
That's
know
how it
he
works
kills the-
now.
Because I know he kills the female.
Holy shit.
One of the coolest fucking.
The live action Jungle Book was actually good when I saw it in theaters in 2016. I don't remember if I saw it in theaters, to be honest.
Get their heads
You'll,
ripped off.
you'll spoil it. Don't say nothing.
No. Godzilla started it though. Godzilla.
Yeah,
started it.
those
So he
like I said,
has-
we already have episodes that they're still like a few weeks out from being released. Like I said, we did record our Titanic episode with Ashley from Lullaby the Fear podcast, which is fantastic.
Has to take care of the female,
and it's almost 3 hours long, just to warn you all.
Son of a bitch,
Who's
dude.
gonna bring that
I'm never
up?
gonna get away with this.
No, you're never gonna get away from Monster Squad.
Nope.
I
Never.
think I applaud because that was.
Oh yeah, Shane Black was a writer on Monster
So
Squad. That's
awesome.
right.
We were in when we watched it, dude.
Sucker Punch is underrated. I have never seen that movie fully, but I do own that movie
And,
on Blu-ray, and it might still be
and-
wrapped.
Ford like passes out on the boat, right?
Yeah, he does. He does.
And I was really hoping he was
It's
just
gonna happen
go
one
off of
day.
the boat.
I assure you. Dude,
And be like,
apparently, it'll
does
happen
anybody
one
know
day.
what happened
Monster
to Aaron
Squad.
Taylor Johnson?
All right.
Nobody
But do you not like Monster Squad?
But no,
I've
he
never seen it.
survives.
To be honest, I'll admit to it. I've never seen it all the way through.
And because
I've listened to a lot of podcasts talking about it.
Massive
Yeah,
creature.
it's something that Stu brings
he
up
exerted
quite a
so
bit.
much energy.
Like, you need to watch Monster
he
Squad.
like drops
Have you
into a
watched it
coma in
yet?
the middle of San Francisco.
Not all the time, but he does. It's
It's-
between that
it's a
and
lot.
fucking
He just, like,
Indiana
But
Jones.
not
much
every
energy.
time. But I think it's funny.
And
I'm a psychopath. I like to listen to a podcast about movies I've never seen before.
Find his son somehow.
Where they're like,
He's
"Don't
all-
listen to this if you want to be spoiled." I'm like,
How the hell did
I
he
want to be
know?
spoiled.
How did he know where his
Yeah,
son
dude,
Spoil it,
all the
baby.
time.
Also, I have like podcasts that I listen to religiously every single week, and even if they cover movies I've never seen, I have to listen to their podcast because it's like I don't care. I'll eventually watch the movies. I'm not a big. Only if it's a spoiler that is really going to ruin the movie completely, like the end of The Sixth Sense. Which, to be honest, if you don't know the end of The Sixth Sense, you're crazy. You need to watch it right now. I won't spoil it. But that movie is also like 20-something years old now.
Find out the whole thing's a TV show.
Yes. Yeah.
And it
Finding
was
out
no one
the
cared.
others.
And
Oh, that's
that was-
another great
that's-
twist. I love that movie.
Elizabeth
Good
Olsen,
movie.
I love her.
Nicole Kidman is
She's a
fantastic in that.
fantastic actor,
Yeah.
and she
And that
killed
freaked-
it.
That movie freaked
She
me
kills
out.
it
watched
as
it
Wanda
together.
Yeah,
Maximoff
because I was
in
mixed.
everything. Even
But I
in Age of
remember
Ultron, she
trying to
outshines
watch
Aaron
it
Taylor Johnson in that film. And she, to be
before
honest,
we
I
got
think it would have been
together,
so much
and
better if she was like the military
out.
type.
And then we watched
You know,
it.
if
Like,
she
why
was
I
Aaron
so
Taylor
freaked out
Johnson's
about this?
character.
I loved it.
And Aaron
You know
Taylor
what movie
Johnson was just
freaked
the
me out? I
useless
watched
one
by
they had in
myself.
a,
Speaking of that,
working in a hospital.
not long after
because
it came
she's a
out.
better
This is
actor.
not about twists.
She
but,
is.
Signs.
Yeah.
I love-
mean,
I
there's a lot of
still-
wasted opportunity
I
in
still
this-
say that is
this film.
top tier
Ken Watanabe,
Shyamalan.
I don't think was in it enough.
I love that
Signs is
movie.
good.
I mean,
I like
it's
that
some
movie.
cool
It is-
lines,
it
but
does
he
have a
was- Sally
weird
Hawkins are- like, I love
ending where
Sally
you're just like,
Hawkins. Like she's great.
Why are you taking over a planet that's made up of so much water?
Guillermo
Yeah.
del Toro,
I watched it.
Shape of Water.
I
She was
babysitting
fantastic, and she doesn't speak a word in
Jada
that
and
film.
Jada,
Great movie.
and I
She's
was
a
like,
great
"Oh, I
actress.
watched it."
Ken
Nope,
Watanabe's
don't do that.
fantastic.
Was it the scene where they show the
You
video
know, Bryan
footage
Cranston, who is
Nope,
at the
it was
party? That one where it did
you
me. I'm
killed
like,
20
no,
minutes in
was
your
the-
film.
fucking
Like,
done.
there
It
had
was
to have been
the
some
scene
sort of meddling
where-
in this film
See,
where
there's-
all of
there's
those
like
decisions
some
were made,
water
and they're like,
to
listen,
a
Aaron
glass
Taylor
of water.
Johnson
I was like,
and
nope.
Elizabeth Olsen are
I'm like,
killing it. They were in the Avengers, okay?
I don't
What was
like
Bryan
things
Cranston
like
in? Oh, he was
that.
in one of the biggest shows of all time. And he killed
I
it.
don't like
in
seeing
this
reflections
I'm making a
in
point
movies.
right now. I'm listening to my really good point.
Dedicated.
The
I'm
fact
like,
that
how
you
did give
killed
birth to a
Bryan
son who's
Cranston,
literally
who was in one of the
worst,
biggest shows at the
most
time,
stone-faced
and Breaking
idiot
Bad,
I've ever
and yet you
seen.
had Aaron Taylor Johnson carrying your film,
glad that
looking
Aaron Taylor
half
Johnson does
asleep.
not make an appearance in any more of these movies because
He was just so jet lagged.
It's
from having to go to
still
the
such a disgrace, man.
characters in
I remember
these
seeing this
three films
movie
that we're gonna
for the very
review,
first time,
but
going.
damn.
I was so excited because
Aaron Taylor
Brian, because I
Johnson,
think it was like right in the middle of Bryan Cranston. Or no, I watched Breaking Bad way later. But I think I watched Godzilla 2014
Right.
again later
So-
after watching Breaking Bad. And I was like,
Uh,
Bryan Cranston,
so,
baby,
we're gonna
let's
do
go.
something-
And then he
we're
died.
gonna
I was
do
like,
something here. We're gonna rank
20
the
minutes? Are
main
you fucking
characters
serious?
of
See,
these
that's
movies
what
out
we
of the
thought.
blue,
'Cause,
okay?
see, I
And
wasn't.
because
I didn't
we're
give a
just gonna
fuck.
I just want to put him on a list,
Right,
and it's gonna be the
his name is
bottom.
Aaron.
It's not even. There's only four. We're only reviewing 4 films. He's
I
gonna
didn't give a
go
shit
like
about him at all.
6,
Like, so I didn't
okay?
pay attention
He's
to
gonna
him. I only paid
skip
attention
5.
to
He's going straight
kaiju
to 6.
stuff,
He's the worst
Dr.
main
Serizawa,
character
and then Bryan
in any
Cranston's
of these
character.
films. And
And I was like,
probably
dude, they
one of the
hyped
worst
him
main
up.
characters
He's the
I've seen in a
coolest
movie in a
character.
long
He's got the
time.
most drive
I can't
out of
stand
anybody in
him.
this fucking movie. He did all this
I bet-
awesome ass research, and he
Aaron
fucking
Taylor Johnson, I
iced
bet
him.
you are a
I'm
wonderful
like, what do you do?
human
It's always
being,
just did it
but
for the
you are
kaiju
terrible
at
in
that
this
point,
film.
Dr. Serizawa. And he's barely in the movie too.
And
mean,
yeah,
sit
and
next to you watching
we
this
see
movie
Godzilla
was a
or Ken
whole
Watanabe's
whole
character and Sally
experience for
Hawkins
myself.
are in the rubble,
He like
and
kept
then
getting
Godzilla
so
wakes up
excited, Like, the
and
whole time,
we
he
see
was,
the
like,
first
shaking,
of like
and
the
then
3
he would see
times of
something,
the
he'd
same
see
exact
Godzilla, and
scene of
he's like
Godzilla wandering
No,
into
I'm
the
like-
it's the atomic breath.
and swimming
I
away.
was like,
And then immediately,
okay.
Well,
and
it's
then immediately,
exciting for
it's
me
over.
as a fan
There's
because the
nothing else.
last time how it was treated,
There's no
Godzilla was
after
treated,
credit
he
scene,
actually
right?
was treated like
In this
Godzilla
one?
in these movies.
I
so-
I
know,
know there
but
was
it-
one. There are
you picked
some
me
in the
because
next
I hit
two,
you
but
with
not in
I,
this one.
I do that when I get excited, and you were doing it
It
to
is-
me.
it's a
I was like,
great-
okay,
I
roles
agree
first.
with you.
Well,
It's
the
a great
difference
scene.
is
I
I
love
tap
the
you
fact
and
he
you
just
just
like wakes
fucking
up
cold
all
cock me in the
like,
just
he's like,
Yes,
all right,
in the
refuel,
It's like, hey,
and then just
boom.
wanders in. I love his design.
Oh,
The sails.
It's all slow
Fantastic.
motion.
And,
Holy
that's
shit,
it.
what
is happening
here?
2014.
Marital problems. Then people that come here for this shit.
No.
Like I said before, I like
No,
this. I
absolutely
enjoyed the
not.
hell out of this movie. And to rank it right now, it's the only film we've reviewed.
To be honest,
got to go number 1.
As much as I've been not listening to this, even though I've been listening to it at the same time, to be honest, this was actually a pretty decent first episode. Like, I thought we all, I mean, other than the fact that the audio was not great.
As well.
Angela.
These 4 films.
Angela.
Of course, are the
Dan,
we'll
watch
say the
out.
bad- the-
Watch
the
out.
Bad kaiju.
What'd you have?
And
Read
so
the
that we
chat,
move on
Dan.
until, probably until next week.
Well, I mean, obviously, I
Well,
married her. I
depends.
mean,
Depends if I get
Flushed
outvoted.
there. Glad I got makeup on. You can't see that.
I mean,
you want to sort of point the lamp at you? It'll blow washing off.
Ah.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're gonna rank the things that Godzilla fights. You know,
My beautiful wife.
or not just.
It doesn't
Godzilla.
mean
say
shit.
so.
It doesn't mean shit coming
Of
from
course,
me. Dude. Listen, we've been together for
Kong
6
Island and Godzilla vs.
17 years.
Kong. Godzilla vs. Kong is
Married
gonna be very weird to rank things
Yeah.
in, but
Everything I say is just.
I got flustered. It's not even about me.
yeah.
What were we talking about?
No, it's trying to
Get
figure out
harder
what-
than
what-
paper, man.
I was like,
Never mind. I don't want. We can't spoil
He's like, I
anything
do
yet. We still got
declare.
3 weeks.
I do declare.
weeks until we talk about that.
it doesn't.
Fuck.
Oh my god. Oh,
That's it.
Godzilla has breath.
oh.
But no, like I agree with what you were saying.
Yeah.
Like as far as just like
He's
I didn't
not a
really have much
monkey.
podcast
He's
experience
not a
outside the
monkey.
little bit we did
He's
our
an
own. That
ape.
was just kind of us.
You had way more
And that's
podcasting
not-
experience than I did.
I'm a weirdo. I cringe every time they
We
do,
didn't
oh,
do
that's a
any
big
video.
monkey.
It was
It's not a monkey.
just
Okay.
Yeah, but
So
you
it's
still
an
were
ape.
able. You
Apes-
still
apes
did a
and monkey
podcast,
are
and
the
like it
same
wasn't
thing.
even the fact of like doing video. That wasn't even the biggest deal. It was just knowing what the hell I was doing,
Atomic breath.
which I still don't know what I'm doing.
It's gonna suck.
Yeah, it's just like as we like obviously we're better at it because we're more comfortable. We've done
Right.
this a lot, so like the way we talk and how
Comfortable.
emote.
Grape ape. Oh my god, grape ape. What a
Dude, did I just make a grape ape
What a-
reference?
Yes,
what
you
a
did.
grape
Wrong,
ape.
but
Uh,
fucking go.
Fiore, as long as she doesn't mind, I don't mind.
I don't
Don't
mind.
worry.
It's not fair.
We're gonna talk about that more.
Dude,
in
how come
depth
I didn't talk about
in the
Magilla
next few
Gorilla?
weeks.
We got a
So,
gorilla
So
for
that
we
concludes
got a gorilla for sale. Magilla
Godzilla
gorilla for sale.
2014.
Boop, boop.
next
that?
week.
Oh, you know.
We
No.
will be talking about Kong.
What,
I
early,
do
late
remember
90s?
Magilla Gorilla, but I do not
which-
remember that.
There was they had a thing on.
Is amazing.
They used to have it on Cartoon Network. Where they have a little, like they talk about some of the characters. They did like a song for them, and I always remember the Magilla Gorilla one.
But yeah,
And then
so
the
we
old
will
Super
be-
Prince one for Brainiac just
Yeah,
wanted
so
pants.
we will be talking about Kong Skull Island.
It
Next
was
week,
great because it was like
same
the old
time.
Super Friends, and it was the
same
Legion
place.
of Doom meeting, and they're just like
I
talking
wanna
about
thank-
bullshit.
Yeah,
And just
so-
fucking Brainiac. Oh, excuse me.
I want to thank
I
DJ
just need a
Gaming.
decent pair of
My
pants, and then
favorite.
everybody
Hey,
was yelling,
thanks for-
Solomon
for
Grundy
coming.
want
I don't
pants
want
too.
20
And
minutes,
it's just-
right? I'm not on the top there.
Anyway,
thanks
not
for,
relevant.
For
Yeah,
hanging out.
so-
I'm excited
What?
for the next few
Parker,
weeks
I don't
to
know why I'm
talk
pointing
about
up.
the
I'm
next
on
3
the
films
top.
in this crazy.
I don't know.
multiverse.
I still don't know where anyone is when I set up the overlays because of the way Discord has you set up, and then the way that I put you on the
All right, ladies and
overlay.
gentlemen, thank you so much again.
Well, I would be fine
this
with that, but I'll
is
tell
the
you right now, I
Parker
fucking
Chronicles. I
hated
had
the
to look over and
76
see what our
Chrome
name was.
movie.
This is the first episode.
We're gonna
so I had to
review that.
Figure out what the hell the name of our show's called. This is the Parker Chronicles episode 1.
I
We
hate
will
the
be,
woman. I can't remember
like I
her
said,
name.
We're going to
Apparently
be
she's an
streaming
important
the
actress. I don't
podcast
know.
here on Sundays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Hey, the time is still the same.
And they will be
Jeff
eventually
Bridges
Sundays at
was good.
8:30.
and we're going to try to get them on.
That's what time
some
to review
Jeff
podcast
Bridges
or
services,
record.
so
Yeah,
Google Podcasts,
I haven't
Spotify
seen Son of
maybe.
Kong in a long time.
We're
about
gonna look into
Konga?
it, but yeah,
Hey,
there's going to be
Kong.
a lot of places. Hopefully, you guys can be able to listen to this podcast. With that, I am the Parker XP.
I
You guys
hated that I
can,
announced myself as
exit
that.
out. Who are you?
Now you're just
Who are you people?
I am Nemesis Angel.
We just announced
Thank you.
ourselves as our @name.
Yes. And then,
Hey guys, the recommendations. Make sure you listen to our Alien Covenant episode, which was our latest episode, and then make sure to go to the Jurassic Park podcast because that was the first podcast we did as Dissect That Film. So check those out.
Billy,
and then look at our cool new logo, guys. Isn't it awesome?
Yeah.
Check out our new logo. It's on
the podcast. We talk about the movie.
Here you go. You guys want to watch this? No, I'm just kidding. We're not watching this.
Billy,
Hey, you're wearing my hoodie.
Billy's here talking us up, dude.
Billy! You guys have tons of info. You absolutely know what you're doing.
Parker does.
I'm glad you guys think we know what we're doing because I will never feel like I know what I'm doing.
You knew a lot. You know.
Walk out my ass and just.
All right. Well, that was. Listen, that might have not gone exactly how I planned it, but you know what? When
Yeah,
you
probably
do
not.
when you do live shows, it's kind of I don't have mixers and everything, and all that shit. It's kind of just a whim, and we just go with it. And I appreciate everybody who stuck around to hang out in the chaos live. But hey, if you guys are listening to this or watching this at on Friday when we release this fully, thank you for listening, and I hope you guys enjoy this chaos that is the 100th episode of the podcast. So we could have done something completely different, and maybe we should have, but you know what? We can't turn back now. We have to go with what we got.
Already balls deep. You can.
And make sure to go listen to. I do recommend. Please go back and listen to all of the OG episodes, the Parker Chronicles episodes. There were 1 through 18. We covered the entire MonsterVerse. We covered all the Jaws movies. Which don't listen to the Jaws episode because I still hate that episode. It's my favorite movie of all time, and I think I did a shitty job at it. So don't listen to that one. But listen to all the other Jaws episodes. We covered the entirety of the Resident Evil movies. We did Bad Boys 1 and 2. We did Twister for its 25th anniversary, which is a great episode that me and my brother did. And then that was pretty much it. And then we started off with Jurassic Park when we started off doing Dissect That Film. So it's a lot of fun. We've been having a blast. I can't believe this is the 100th episode. It's just wild to think about every time I mention it. But you guys have made this journey a blast, and Dan and Angela being here, taking the time out of their life to hang out with me every weekend. It's just, I can't thank them enough. They're amazing people. They're not just my co-hosts, but they're like my best friends. I can't say anything more than that. They're amazing human beings, and you should definitely be following them individually, but also, just go back and listen to all those old episodes. Dan and Angela helped me out and got me out of some pickles in the early days of this podcast, filling in when we were down a person. I didn't want to do it by myself. So I can't thank them enough for everything. Speaking of Gorilla, we should cover. So we have covered Kong Skull Island because that was part of the MonsterVerse. And we covered Godzilla vs. Kong. Someday we'll go back and do some of the OGs. I'd like to cover like really old movies. Like I'd like to do like a whole month where we cover like OG, like doing the 56 Godzilla, doing the 33 King Kong, Gone with the Wind. Ugh, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one, guys. I don't.
No, it's so
I'm gonna call in sick that week.
We could just talk about how racist it is, because it is.
It's still good.
And also
As God is my witness.
and the Wizard of Oz, of
Shall
course, from
never go hungry
1939.
again.
Yeah.
Also, I'd like to go back and cover like OG Disney movies, like
Yes.
Snow White and Pinocchio, Bambi. I just rewatched Bambi not too long ago because I needed something to throw on, and that movie, fucking holy shit, it's dark.
Love Bambi.
I enjoyed Peter Jackson's King Kong. I know Tony reviewed it with Clayton last summer. I would love to have Clayton on the show. We've talked about Clayton when we did our Jurassic Park episodes before I even knew Tony, and I knew that he was involved with Clayton doing videos with him. Dan actually brought him up when we were covering, I think Jurassic Park 3 was the first time you had brought him up. And I remember checking his channel out, and he covers pretty much everything that has to do with Jurassic Park in the franchise as a whole. And then I found out that Tony from Hack the Movies does videos with him. He actually did a Prometheus episode with him. He does, of course, has talked about Jurassic Park stuff. And so hopefully one day, if I could figure out how to contact him, I would love to get him on for something in the future. I don't know what it would be, but That would be a blast. And we've had Tony on the show. He actually was on our most downloaded episode of March, which was a lot of fun with our I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, a threequel that now I don't think many people know existed, but we talked about it and it was an absolute blast. So make sure to go check that episode out. That was episode 96. But yeah, that was our most downloaded episode of March, which March 2023 was our highest downloaded month of our entire existence since we started this sucker. So thank you to everybody who downloads the show and listens to us. Hopefully everyone who downloads it listens. Even if you listen for 5 minutes, we appreciate your listen. Yep. Thank you so much, everybody. Billy, Fiore. Yes. We're not going anywhere right now. We're gonna do some chatting for a little bit. We don't want to go too late, but we do want to do some talking, not talking over the thing we were supposed to be watching and commentating.
We did a little bit.
We picked it. You guys, listen. We weren't promising perfection here. I had the beer from Jaws last night. I actually bought a shirt that was it I think it's Narragansett is the beer company that Quint drinks, and you can actually buy the beers. It's still a beer, and they actually did a specialty where they came out with a case where it actually had the Jaws cover on the box. I couldn't snag one though, but I bought a shirt where it's Bruce and Quint hanging out on the sinking orca, drinking a beer together.
Hello, Bruce.
So, yeah, Narragansett. Yep. Don't forget Peter Jackson's King Kong, because we know Peter Jackson. Oh, we love Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings, and all that good stuff. Yes, to be honest, we are going to be covering Lord of the Rings at some point, and we do have we already were told we have a guest for that when we cover Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yes.
We're not going to share who that guest is going to be, but that guest already pretty much said when you cover Lord of the Rings, you need to bring me back on. So that person will be brought back on for those episodes. I have only seen Fellowship of the Ring. Never seen Two Towers, never seen Return of the King, never seen any of the Hobbit movies. I actually have the first Hobbit movie back there on that shelf, still sealed.
No, we'll skip it. Like I said, we'll just watch the 70s animated one. That's all you need to fucking know, and then watch The Lord of the Rings.
But
believe me, it covers it.
But also, I would love to go back and cover some of Peter Jackson's OG stuff.
Yes,
like Dead Alive, which our good friends, Doom Generation just did an episode probably about a month ago on Dead Alive, which is fantastic. I mean, all their episodes are fantastic, but that episode was insane, as is the movie. The good stuff. I think is it the good stuff or the bad stuff?
No, it's I thought it was Bad Taste.
Or Bad Taste, right? Which
I always get mixed up with the stuff.
Which our good friends Joe and Sean from Movie Dumpster covered in like their second episode ever of their show. So
I'm going backwards through their videos.
I'm going to shout out all these other podcasts that cover these amazing movies that hopefully one day we're going to be covering on the show. We are. I mean, listen, we're a movie podcast, and there's millions of movies out there to cover. We're not super picky about what movies we cover, but there are certain movies that we don't really want to touch based on maybe subject matter and just the way that we do our show. We don't want to make sure we don't, say the wrong thing, not on purpose, but you know what I mean? Just the way that we try to put comedy into our show, covering certain movies, it just doesn't fit. And we're not that type of show.
I feel like a lot of this is directed at me.
Yes, I was staring straight at you. You couldn't tell. Frighteners too. Yeah, with Michael J. Fox. That's a great one. That's also got our boy from Reanimator.
Oh,
yeah. Well,
the guy who plays Dr. West.
Yeah, I can't. I literally the names every time we go live, I blank on everyone's name.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah, the guy who combs his hair.
Jeffrey Combs. I don't know why I said it like that. If that person's a Tolkien scholar, then it'll be a great review. I don't know if they are a Tolkien scholar, but they are big fans of the movies. So I'm guessing they said they had as much information about the Lord of the Rings movies as they did on the subject matter we covered with them on the episode they will be on or have been on. I'm trying not to spoil anything. I'm trying not to like say who it is.
It's got something to do with pickles.
Yes. Maybe. Flatliners? Was that Peter Jackson? Flatliners? Or are we just naming movies now?
Okay, I don't know.
As long as it's the original with was it Kiefer Sutherland and Kevin Bacon and I can't remember the other people, but the remake is bad.
Is it? I've never seen any of them.
We do have a lot of movies planned. I do want to go through some movies that are celebrating anniversaries this year. Like I said, we will be covering the 1998 Godzilla, which is celebrating 25 years this year. We're going to be talking about we're actually our next franchise. Might as well announce it now. The next franchise we'll be covering, can't tell you when because we don't know when we're going to be starting it, is going to be Pirates of the Caribbean. We're going to be going through the entirety of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, which is probably going to be one of the shortest franchises we've covered because it's only 5 movies right now. But the first one is celebrating its 20th anniversary. So I said, well, we can't just do the first one. We got to go through the whole thing. So we'll, and because it's Disney's 100th anniversary, it's a Disney franchise. So it fits. What other movies? There's movies that we've already reviewed that have celebrated anniversaries. The Faculty. We covered I swear to God, we covered so many movies from 1998 last year, like idiots. We're like, let's cover this now. Review some Watchmen director's cut. Watchmen, it will 100% be covered on this show because it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
It's a good movie.
Dead air. Sorry. But I have the director's cut on Blu-ray and on DVD. That's how much of a fan I am. And I got to re-pick up a copy. I had a copy of the actual the graphic novel, but I don't know what the hell happened to it.
Dude, it's so cheap. Things are printed like 8 billion times.
Well, there's like a new expanded version or something like that. I don't remember.
Nah, just read the original version, dude. It's good. It's
I know. I've read it many, many times. Like I said, I had an original. I had a copy when I was a kid.
I don't know if that was like one of those things where just like you bought it, but you just never got around to it.
No. The reason I wanted to go see it so bad because I technically when it came out, I wasn't 18 yet, so I couldn't go see rated R movies. So I actually had to ask my mom if she'd bring me to go see it. And she brought me, my brother, who was like 12, 13 at the time, and his friend to go see it. And she didn't know what was in it. And I didn't tell her what was in it. Because, I mean, the thing about Watchmen is it's very close to the graphic novel. And that's why I love it so much. Like, it didn't stray too far away, other than the ending is a little different. It's pretty similar. And it's got some boobies in it. And other things, and my mom was not expecting that, and I remember leaving that theater, and she was a little perturbed. But you know what? I got to see the movie, so I didn't give a shit.
There's one movie I request this year.
Okay,
this is on the record now. Everybody's hearing it. It's a fucking 25th anniversary. I've been talking about it since we started this motherfucker. Deep Rising. Deep
Rising is going to be covered this year, 100%. We will be covering Deep Rising. I got to see if I can find a copy of that movie because I kind of want to own that physically.
Yeah, I mean, I don't own it.
A Steven Sommers classic, the guy from the director who a year later would go on to do The Mummy,
right?
Which, because of scheduling, we're probably not going to be covering the Mummy franchise until next year to celebrate 25 years of the original. Which I do have a guest in mind. I just have to see when they are available to come on the show to do that. So
that's fair.
But we will cover all 3. Actually, we're probably going to cover we'll cover all 4 of them. So the 3 original, and then the Tom Cruise one. Not that I really want to, but you know what? We're going to stick to our guns and cover the entire franchise, as I say in quotations. But also, we're as we stated, we're doing so Titanic will be after this one. So for everyone who's listening, that'll be episode 101, which I stated before is almost 3 hours long. And I'm not sorry about it because there's a lot of information in there, and our guest had a lot to say. And
Yes.
I'm happy that she came on and said it because that was the whole point of bringing her on the show. And yeah, it was a great, and also that movie is almost 3.5 hours long to begin with. So the fact that we were able to make our episode shorter than the movie, I think is a win. So
Yeah.
it's fine. We have longer episodes that people somehow love to listen to because one of our highest downloaded episodes ever is the Batman episode, which is 3 hours long. So for anyone who says that shorter podcasts are better, not in my number book.
Dude, like when I'm at work, sometimes I just need to I fill a lot of time. I love longer podcasts. It's so nice when I just could work and not be not bother, but I don't have customers around. I have to assist. I can just work solo. It's so nice.
Yeah. Inglourious Bastards is my favorite Tarantino movie. And that's might be a little controversial, but you know what? I love Pulp Fiction. To be honest, I love Tarantino. I think all of his films are fantastic. Django, probably one of my favorites just because of just how beautifully shot it is. And just the performances are just so insane. But Inglourious Bastards is such a fantastic alternate. Tarantino's so good at making alternate history movies. And yeah, I love that movie. Watch it right now, Fiore. Right now. Just say, all right, I gotta go, guys. I gotta watch Inglourious Bastards. We love Return to Oz. That movie is, like I stated before, nightmare fuel. But you know what? If anyone is more perfect to cover that movie and come on and talk about it, I couldn't think of anyone better than Doom Generation. Let's go listen to their podcast right now. Right now. They just released their episode on The Money Pit starring Tom Hanks, which is a hilarious movie, which I feel was a kind of do you remember the movie A Mouse Hunt with Nathan Lane and what was his name? Lee, I think his name was like Lee Evans. He's a British comedian, where they buy a decrepit house and they're trying to remodel it, but there's a mouse that keeps causing issues and the house keeps falling apart. I feel like that was just like it was an unofficial sequel to Money Pit. If you've ever seen Money Pit's a funny ass movie. That is some OG Tom Hanks when he was hilarious. Like I loved late 80s, early 90s Tom Hanks, Money Pit, The Burbs.
We watched that in school.
Other movies that he's been in that I can't think of right now.
I remember, like I said, the advertisement for the movie. Never watched it.
What about covering the Transformers movies before the new ones? Oh, fuck.
Do we have to?
We're going to. It's one of those franchise. That franchise is like Resident Evil to me, where I'm like dreading covering those franchises because I hate half of those movies. They are just I will say it right now. When we cover a franchise, we go all in. Like there's no. It doesn't matter if people don't like if we trash it or whatever. We try to be generous to whatever movie we watch. We try to see the good in movies, even if they're not good. But when we get to 4 and 5, I'm just going to warn you right now, those movies are fucking horrible. Like Mark Wahlberg is terrible in them and they're just absolute dog shit. And the fact that Mark Wahlberg doesn't try to read, that's the only good thing about those movies. The 5th one is literally, I could take a nap to that movie. That is a movie you put on if you need to take a nap. The 5th Transformers movie is horrible. And I'm so glad Michael Bay does not direct those movies anymore. Holy shit. I'd rather watch him make a movie about an ambulance driving around with Jake Gyllenhaal than watch any more of his garbage ass Transformers. Sorry. Hanging up on do it. I'm not ashamed. Yeah. Go listen to Doom right now.
Fuck out of here. Just kidding.
We love Doom Generation here. They're not just great humans who make a great podcast, but they're also a patron. So I feel like there's got to be some love there, you know? No, they have a fantastic podcast. They are one of the funniest group of people I've ever listened to. I listen to a lot of podcasts. They are hilarious.
Just following orders. Fuck.
I thought you had the 5th one had Anthony Hopkins just being the biggest goofball, and it wasn't even funny.
Oh, you mean like I haven't seen 5. I've seen 4. But
That's
like
horrible.
The second one is the worst for me. I fucking hate the second Transformers movie so damn much.
So Fiore, we have covered. Well, Dan and Angela wasn't a part of it when we did the Resident Evil movies, but back in our early days, we did cover the entirety of the Paul W.S. Anderson Resident Evil movies. We did all 6 of them. We had our good friend Leanne, aka Piggy, on to help us cover those. It was an adventure. It was a lot of fun hanging out with her and talking about these movies, even though they're absolute dog shit. So yeah, if you want to go listen to what we thought of those 6 movies, quotations, yeah, go back and listen to those, please, because it was a lot of fun to talk about. But those movies are bad. Those movies are bad. I hate the third Transformers movie. Patrick Dempsey is the bad guy, bro. No thanks. To be honest, 1 and 3 are the only ones I really like. 2 is tolerable because it still had Shia LaBeouf as a part of it. And to be honest, once he was gone, that's when the movies like became dog shit. And also they just made them like 3 hours long, and it's like a Transformers movie does not need to be 3 hours long. Movies, to be honest, movies period don't need to be 3 hours long. Can we just stop this? Can we stop it right now?
Yeah, be like 65. Make an hour and 33-minute long movie. Fuck
There you go.
Like, okay, around 2 hours. Unless you've really got a fucking point, 2 hours is where you need to be at. Like, I feel like some people are like, we just need to pad out the runtime. Why?
What is happening? Why are we doing this to ourselves?
That's what I feel like. Stuff happens in the movie. Like, why the fuck is this here?
Said Allie Larder is the only reason. She wasn't even in most of them.
What? Who the fuck is that?
She started off. She was in Final Destination 1 and 2, and then she was in Resident Evil. Oh boy, which Resident Evil was she in?
Oh,
3, 4.
I know who she is.
Yeah.
Final chapter. She was Claire Rich.
Yeah, she played Claire. Yeah, that's all I really want to say when it comes to the Resident Evil movies. We still have a couple left we still have one left to talk about, and I'm hoping we can someday get Leanne back on the show to do that final Resident Evil movie, just to kind of be like, to finish it off. And we're never going to talk about that really bad show that they did on Netflix, even though R.I.P. Lance Reddick, who was in that. It sucks. That sucks. Varsity Blues with James Vanderbeek, Paul Walker. Listen, we have ideas. I actually want to go through a list of movies from 1998 and just go through it with Dan and Angela and kind of just pick movies out, and also just like get with future guests and just be like, hey, these are all the movies from 1998 we want to cover. Pick one, and that's the movie that we're going to cover when they come on the show. So I know that the X-Files movie is celebrating its 25th anniversary, which I think possibly we have a guest for. I think we talked about it. I just want to make sure that we're solid before I'm like, yeah, this person's going to be on for that movie. But we did cover a few last year. And I want to kind of shout movies out on their anniversaries. We're kind of bad about that. Also, I want to try to do some like themed months too down the road. Maybe like we were saying, like doing some like oldies, like a month full of oldies, like movies from like literally from like the 30s to like the 60s. Because I don't think we've talked about many movies from those periods. I think the oldest movie we've covered on the show was Rudolph from 64. But that was in that episode is still one of my favorite episodes we've ever done. Yes. So please listen to the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer episode we did. I don't like calling our episodes reviews because we don't review movies. We dissect them. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Dan.
Get out for it, brother. Shit, what the fuck? Well, you talked about remake month at some point. Like,
so yeah,
remake. Similar to what we're doing with Disney stuff, but we've talked about that.
We have done. Did we do a remake episode?
We talked about remakes, but like a remake of a film, and like talk about the prior, kind of like I said, what we're doing with the Disney stuff.
Oh yeah, so there's plans. There's lots of plans. It's just the fact that we got to make sure we get them all down, and there's only so many weeks in a year that we can really get to, and we're gonna be busy. We're gonna be trying to put some more content out there on Patreon. Like you said, we're gonna be making some more tiers, trying to hopefully get some more people in to bring in some money to help us make the show a little bit better and get maybe, get some new mics, get things sounding better, get this to be. Here he is, the legend, Johnny Browning.
We were talking about you, Johnny.
You always got to talk about Johnny Browning, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Thank you for being here, my friend. But yeah, that's the whole point of the Patreon. It's every dime that you give to the show is going right back to the show. I don't take it in for anything personal. They don't get any of it personal. It's all going to be to help benefit the show. So if we, like I said, if we can get enough money to get better mics, because like we all use, USB mics. So like the sound quality might not be as great as if we had different mics. We want to get some like better just producing stuff. We would like to, we're going to start a fund to get Angela a new chair. We're going to do that at some point. So we're going to have, we're going to get Dan and Angela new chairs so they don't squeak as often, on the recordings.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's a joke and partially serious. Sorry, I caught it. Yeah, listen, I know we were competing with WrestleMania tonight, so not a big deal. Thank you for being here, stopping in. I know that a lot of people are watching WrestleMania because that's a lot more exciting than this. But yeah, that's kind of the gist on what we're doing. We don't really we don't plan super far out because it just gets really, because like schedules and stuff like that get in the way. And we have to work when we work with guests, we try to work around the times that best work for them, but also we have to work it out with us, make sure everything kind of links together. Time zones can suck ass because that sucks too. Because, try to work with people who are either in the UK or in the Western, on the West Coast, time zones are pretty drastic where we try to stay our recording time at the same time. And, some people can't because they're still working because they're like 3 hours behind us or they're 5 hours ahead of us. So like when we start recording, it's like 2 a.m. So yeah. It's hard. Podcasting is not easy. It's not an easy thing. We've been trying our best to give you guys, the best content we can and bring in some amazing people. We've had some amazing guests this year. We had amazing guests last year. And, yeah, we hoping we can continue giving you guys the best that we can. So the last thing would be just running it down next. This episode will be out on Friday. If you guys want to listen to it back again, the audio version will be out on Friday. I'm probably not going to do a video version of this. I'm probably just going to leave it. You can watch the live show back recording here on YouTube. But the audio version, which I'm going to edit, that will be out on Friday. There's also, hopefully you guys will check out, for anyone watching this live, tomorrow I will be releasing my interview with writer Leah St. Marie, who is the writer of the Shudder film Spoonful of Sugar, and her podcasting co-host, Angel Murphy. An interview that I did with them last week. I'm hoping to get that all done and set up and released to you guys on Monday. So for everyone watching live, check that out tomorrow. And if you're listening to it later, it'll already be out for you. And then, yeah, we got Titanic and then Disney for the next month. And then we got and then we got guests, I think, sprinkled in here and there. Like I said, Doom Generation, hopefully we're going to be getting them on soon for a movie. I think I know what movie we're going to be doing. I just got to make sure. I just got to, solidify it before we, let everybody know. But yeah, I got nothing else to say other than thank you to everyone who listens to us every single week and shares the show. And, every little bit helps. And we can't thank you enough for where the show has gone, because it's above and beyond anything I could imagine when I started this 2 years ago. And, I appreciate everybody for the support, and Dan and Angela especially for being here every week and hanging out with me for free. We do this all for free, everybody. It's just our spirit. Like, it's just a little bit of time. Sorry, I
That's why
haven't
you talk.
sent your checks out yet. Sorry. Johnny, we appreciate you, man. Johnny, you're one of our biggest supporters here. You've been with us even before we even started the show. And you've been with us since day one. So thank you so much for all that you've done. And everybody here in the chat who showed up, you know, Billy, Fiore, Doom Generation, Ebony, Dustin from Flicks and Friends, all these people that we've met along the way and become, you know, not just like podcast friends with, but like friends. Like, even though I've never met anybody here, I haven't even met Dan and Angela in real life yet. Like, we haven't never met face to face. This is the most we've talked. Yeah. Fuck that. Don't come here.
It's a distance thing.
But you know what? It doesn't matter. There's still, you know, you guys are all friends, and I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for making this journey a blast. Thank you to my wife and for dealing with me and, you know, dealing with everything that I do with the show, because you know, having 3 kids, having a kid on one kid under 2, it's difficult, and she kicks ass every single day, and I love her so much, and I appreciate everything that she does for me and for my family, and for, you know, helping me, you know, want to, you know, continue the show and being supportive. So thank you. All right, everybody. Dan, Angela, do you have anything you want to say before we hop out of our chaotic 100th episode?
Yeah, you go ahead. You usually have the enlightenment. Come on.
I ain't got no enlightenment. What do you want to say? Because you always have something to say.
I was just going to say thanks, everybody. And it's just nice to have a moment to speak again. So that's good. You get let out of the cage every once in a while. I'm just kidding. I can't say anything more than what Parker has said. Like, he's illustrated it pretty well. Like I said, we appreciate you guys for sure. And Parker for letting us do this and putting up with. I just bolded for putting up with my bullshit, and you guys too. So
I mean, I have no choice. I live with you.
That's true. That's it. Thank you guys. That's all I got.
All right, everybody.
Johnny, I'm far from it.
She is. So she is bullshit. She's
in name
wonderful.
only.
All right, everybody. Until next time, I am Brett Parker. That is Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming. We are Dissect That Film, and this has been the Dissect That Film Podcast, episode 100. We'll see you all again next time. Bye-bye.